What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? Welcome, y'all. Welcome. Oh, we've got a special one going today. Of course, we're going to be doing lots of giveaways all day long. What up there, Jizu? How you doing? We're going to be doing giveaways all day long, but we are going to look at the last 10 years of evolution in Dungeon Defenders 2. And boy, has it changed. Green, what's up? Richard, X-Norm, hello. So yeah, we're going to go through a bunch. We're going to do part 1 today and then part 2 tomorrow. We're going to go through a bunch of the early days today. What up, Takas? How you doing? So why don't we jump right on in and get things started. Now, we are going to start off here just before my first, this is a event on my channel, so it has nothing to do with Endgame, other than the things you could win. Anyway, we are going to start off before my channel even, and of course, this is my 10-year stream anniversary, so I'm going to try to focus the majority of it on my channel here, but we are going to go through the full history of Dungeon Defenders 2 here. So let's go and get things started off, and this is 11 years ago. 11 years ago, probability, what's up? 11 years ago, Dungeon Defenders 2 was not the game that we know it is today. In fact, it was a MOBA. Think League of Legends, Dota, and Dota 2. And to look at this, the best video that I've ever seen, or the best source of information out there, is on the late great Total Biscuits channel. And this is a little clip from PAX East, which is the PAX Gaming Convention in Boston in 2013. Let me go ahead and kill the music here, and we will hop on in and get this one started here. So here we are on Total Biscuits channel. This is PAX East 2013, and this is the original, the OG Dungeon Defenders 2. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Total Biscuit, live here from PAX 2013. I'm checking out Dungeon Defenders 2. You remember that video, don't you? Yeah, that was a pretty fantastic two-parter. We went for ages on that one. You guys just wouldn't shut up.
Thanks for subscribing, Luke.
Here. He is one of the designers here at Trendy for Dungeon Defenders 2. Welcome to the show.
Hi, it's good to be here.
Excellent. You have changed things around a lot for this one. This is an entirely different beast this time around. Why don't you tell us why?
Now, before we even get into this, let's just look through this. This is the PAX 2013 demo for Dungeon Defenders 2, where the game was a MOBA. This is a look at the character selection screen before you jump into a map, but we can look through and find a lot of characters that ended up coming to the game in Dungeon Defenders 2. Of course, we got the original 4 right up top here. So the Huntress, the Monk, the Apprentice, and the Squire. Next, we have the Man in Machine, who is now the Engineer. Over here, we've got the original Barbarian, kind of Dungeon Defenders 1 type of format. This next one, I think, is the Prisoner, which carries... This is one character that I always hoped made it into the game, and I think that this model may have been repurposed elsewhere, like the Scavenger or whatever. Here we've got the original Dryad. This is how the Dryad ended up coming to Dungeon Defenders Awakened, but this is the OG. This is just an orc. Here we got the Kobold Bling King, was a playable character in the beta. Next up, we've got the Harbinger. Once again, a playable character. I can't even say beta in the MOBA. This is pre-alpha. This is like demo stage. We've got, not really sure what that one is, don't remember. Here we got what ended up turning into a skin for the Squire. No, there's no free way to get any premium thing in the game there, Luke. Here we got the Gun Witch. Here's the EV. Here's the mercenary, which was then called the hunter. Of course, the hunter is now the mercenary, and the hunter is something entirely different. Here's the original countess. Here we have the summoner, who is the abyss lord, the lavamancer, and the mystic. So a lot of these characters were playable in some form. Some became NPCs, some became enemies in the beta itself. Let's go ahead and continue along here.
Well, what we're going to be playing today is something a bit different. We're actually playing the PvP mode for our full game that we'll be that we're creating right now.
Sure.
This is the beta for our PvP game, and we're expecting to start doing a lot more spinning up of co-op fairly soon.
All right, so I've heard words bandied around, words like MOBA, words like Dota clone. So how similar exactly is this to the Dota style of gameplay?
Well, the thing about MOBAs is they are a known quantity. I mean, they're a top-down, super competitive game. We're trying to dial it back a little bit. We have kind of a third-person view to our game as opposed to a top-down isometric view.
Sure.
And it's trying really. We're trying really
See
hard.
that,
to
y'all?
bring as much
DD2
Dungeon
did it
Defenders
before
into
Smite.
A decent PvP environment as we can.
Okay.
It's not going to feel the same way that Dota or League or Smite or Han will, because we have a completely different system for itemizations that are more geared toward bursts within
There's
lives.
the
as
original
opposed to a
Nether
sustained
Spider.
snowballing effect over the course of the game.
Okay. So I'm looking at it. You've got quite a few characters ready.
We got
By the
20,
looks of it.
22 right now, yeah.
Nice, and there's a lot more to be unlocked by the looks of it. Do you have a particular recommendation for someone that really likes to shoot people?
Really likes to shoot people. I would go with either the Huntress or perhaps the Gun Witch. That would be this one here.
The Gun Witch. Sounds like a sandwich, just a little bit more violent. Trick shot. Shoots a bullet that bounces between multiple targets, dealing damage to each. Soaring Strike takes to the skies, comes crashing down on enemies, dealing damage in area. And Magic Bullet, imbuing iron with magic. The Gun Witch shoots a magic bullet that deals damage to the first target it hits. Target is silenced for a brief time. And one assumes this is an
Yeah, this
ultimate
is the
ability.
original
Yes.
game, Luke.
All right, Wild Magic.
The original
Changes
game
the
was
middle
a
of Wild
MOBA.
Magic around her, focuses it into a gun after a short delay. Wild Magic's too much to maintain. As he was talking about that burst, actually, yeah. Massive beam of damage. So you charge it up and then you smack somebody with it.
Yes, it
Sounds
actually does
like
a
fun to
lot of
me.
damage to over a large distance in a line.
Let's go ahead and
Nice.
jump
All right,
on
we'll
forward
lock
a
it
little
in
bit
then.
to some of the actual
We've got other
gameplay
people
here.
here. This is not a bot game by any stretch of the imagination.
That they can unlock that'll be part of that shared pool
Right.
over everybody, which was all the grade ones that you saw.
All
Definitely
we're
a
into the
DD1
game,
vibe
I am
to the
immediately
graphics.
finding this familiar. So let's see what we got. Trick shot is probably a good opener, I would say. Trick shot or damage? Hard to say.
So if you want to buy starting items, there's a button in the bottom right corner that looks like a treasure chest. That'll
Yep.
take you to our shop.
All right, sweet. So there's the shop. Okay. How much cash have I got to begin with? 550. Right. So I'm noticing tomes. Are these sort of a
Thanks, Richard.
consumable of some sort?
Actually, everything in the shop is a consumable.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's part of what I was talking about with the...
You don't want that snowballing effect.
Exactly.
Nice, all right.
And one of the
So
interesting
this
things
is
is the oils
standard
and elixirs that you see there,
MOBA
which
stuff
provide-
here.
Whoa, mid. What the...
Skip.
Does
Here we
anyone
go.
here actually play Dota or League? Who knows?
Well, we do
This
a
is
lot
like
to break the meta.
the MOBA
Nice.
experience.
You're going to see that our jungles are laid out very differently as well. It's all very intentional to try and... oh, man, I'm 1v2ing on top. I'm sorry. Getting a bit distracted here.
There's that
I'm being
prisoner.
knocked around, what the heck? I'm being knocked around all over the place here. Let's get out of the range.
That would
All
be
right, there
such
we
a
go,
cool
there we go.
character to add in now.
All right, let's see
So-
what we can do here. Nice.
We're doing a lot
He's
to
up in
break
the back
meta.
there with that ball and chain.
You'll notice there's a really super saturated jungle on both the bottom and the top of the map, where we're splitting 5v2 instead of a traditional 3v4 from
Interesting.
League.
Okay.
It frees up your top lane. It lets them get a little bit more active in mid, or it lets mid cycle up to top without too much of an issue. And gives people more of an opportunity to provide ganks and coverage. We found that it's a pretty good combination. Oh man, I'm getting wrecked here.
Highly doubtful.
Interesting design choice here.
They've
in
already
that
told
when
us
I
what the
click
next character is
somebody,
going to be.
It's actually moving me
They
directly
want to do
in that
new stuff
direction.
now. They don't want
Well,
to go back
yeah.
and reuse the old
Think
stuff. They
about
got a
it,
lot of
that's pretty much
criticism
what you're
for
doing
it.
in an isometric view MOBA in the first.
The reason all of these characters didn't end up making it to the game is they got a ton of criticism for it. Because all this stuff was in the game way back. The Mystic is not a DPS hero. The Mystic is one of the best support heroes in the game, though. You want to play support? Play a Mystic. You want a DPS? Play somebody else. Yeah. Anyway, they got a lot of hate for bringing some of these MOBA characters into the game, which I don't really understand that. I mean, it would have been awesome if they would have brought them all into the game. You know, the base. One of the reasons they didn't, of course, is they wanted to do something on their own. Where this game was created by an entirely different group of people than the next rendition of the game. There was a lot of turnover back then, and you know, a lot of developers came and went. So, of course, when the new ones came in, they wanted to make something that was their own and not reuse the old stuff that somebody else did. And same thing with like artists. You know, an artist always has their own vision of what they want something to be. So they didn't want to use someone else's artwork and build on it. They wanted to create their own. But yeah, anyway, we got
So
standard issue
we're trying to keep
kind
a
of
lower barrier of
MOBA
entry, people that are familiar
experience.
with MOBAs. Oh man, I just
Am I going to move slightly slower there?
no.
The Gunwitch's movement is so
and the
weird.
reason why is because of that same issue that I talked to you about just a minute ago with the ability to move and shoot. You can't move and shoot in our game. When you actually shoot, you stop and play a full animation.
Sure.
And so the main advantage you'd have in like a game like Smite is where
They of course changed
if you are
that.
backpedaling and shooting on a ranged character, it just lets you dominate over pretty much any melee character. Since you actually have to have a momentary pause between what you're doing, you
Yeah,
you run the
similar
risk
type of game. I mean, MOBAs are MOBAs.
basically
They're all
exposing
pretty much
yourself
the same.
to a melee character.
as far
who
as
might
the
be able to
general
trash you
gameplay
while you're
goes.
trying to hit them as they run.
I would love to see the Prisoner come back to the game as a melee character, but I don't think it ever
Things are going
will.
fairly well in the bottom lane. How's top going?
Top's a little bit rough right now for me. I'm dealing with one of the best sustained characters in our game. The Dryad is like a super support. So I think we're going to lose top here in a second if we're not lucky.
Jump on forward a little
Yeah,
bit more.
there.
See we see anything else.
It's really going to be more of a... I look at it as more of forms, so it's going to be... it's going to be really important.
Standard
to us to make
MOBA
sure
stuff,
we can maximize
though.
performance
I think you
whenever
guys
possible.
get.
I'm not sure if this is a wise thing to do, but you know I'm going to do it anyway. Sweet! Ah!
Anyone
Right,
who's
so
ever
let's go
played a
and help our
MOBA
towers up.
knows
You know,
exactly
that
what I'm
was
talking
obviously for
about.
research
It's the
purposes,
exact
as
same
everyone is well
thing.
aware. You know, I didn't just go.
At 5 level intervals as opposed to 6.
All
like,
right, so
like
yeah,
League does.
that's the original
And,
Dungeon Defenders 2. Let's jump on forward though to the current version, or not current version, but to the version that we know and love, which is a game. Basically, what happened is they got feedback that said, "Hey, we're not really into the MOBA thing. We want another tower defense game or action defense game like Dungeon Defenders 1." So they decided not to go with this MOBA and to turn it into the game that it is today. Obviously, the game that it is today has changed just absolutely wildly over the years. But let's jump on forward to what the game
Hello,
is
everyone. Juice
today. And this is shortly after. You see, it says 9 years ago. It says 9 years ago because it's actually 9 years and like, or there it is right there, October 29th, 2014. So this video is just under 10 years old, but this is a more current version of what the game is today. So we're taking a peek here at some of the super, super early game when the tower defense version of the game first launched. Let's check it out.
Eggs here, and welcome back to a little Dungeon Defenders 2.
My voice
This is
sounds
gonna
so
be the
much
first
better then, huh?
episode of a new series I'm starting for the Dungeon Defenders
was not
2
as
pre-alpha
excitable.
and into alpha, and that is the DD2 sneak peek. So we're on our Squire. Let's go ahead and hop right on in. We're taking a look at
Take a look here. The original rendition of the game actually only had these 3 maps available, the 3 at the bottom. But when the game first launched into the pre-alpha early access, it had what 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, had 10 total maps in the game. Yeah, this was the OG.
what is currently the second available map, which is Dragonfall Bazaar. Let's go ahead and get things started.
So here is the Dragonfall Bazaar from,
Now,
what is the date on this one? This one is, yeah, well, it's October 29th, 2014.
this map, I will be switching.
Now
in
remember,
between
when this
characters
came
of
out,
my character
the
deck.
game was so much different.
Well,
First off, you know, in DD1, you have to run around and pop chests to get your mana to start a wave. They removed that entire system from the game, but originally, you see there's a chest right here. You had to pop chests to get a mana, but also you had to have a key to open the chest. In every wave, you got 4 new keys. Now, if you were in a 4-player group, each person would only get 1 key. So each person in a 4-player group would have to go in and pop a chest to get the mana available to start that wave.
First, let's get the apprentice towers in motion. I'm going to be using the apprentice and the monk on this one, and I'm going to use the apprentice to DPS as I go along. Now, essentially on this map, we got 3 entrances, and we've got 2 areas we need to protect. We need to protect this gate control. If we don't protect it, then this gate is going to open.
And now
there's
you
gonna
just
be
ignore
another
all
path
that.
of baddies coming on into our cart. So we want to avoid that at all costs. So I'm going to go ahead and set up right in front of the gate control there. And I'm going to go with, what, 3 flame burst towers?
So note I said flame burst. The flame burst was the base tower in the game back then. So if you know, there was only 4 characters. So if you used that flame burst tower, it came in the current Adept's flame burst form, which I personally like better than the flamethrower. The flamethrower was available in the game through a skill sphere system, where like now we have shards. Before you had a skill sphere system where you'd have to find the skill sphere and you equipped it to your account, not your individual hero or individual defense, and it would do some sort of random thing.
See what I can get in. They're inexpensive. They only cost 30, so I should be able to get a few of these bad boys in play. Let's see, let's go 3 there. Actually, do I have enough for 4? I do. Let's go ahead and get a 4th one in place.
Now, another thing to note, you see
And
the
then come
DU
over
looks
to
a little
this.
different right here. Originally, it was more Dungeon Defenders 1 style, where you had to build out the map over the course of several waves. Like, you didn't pop in and have all of the mana to build a map. You know, you had to do whatever you could do just to make it through that wave. You see here, I've got 200 defense mana left, and we've got 680 DU to spend.
Side. Now on this side, we
So
have
you had
2
to make
entrances, but they're both
decisions
feeding into one
on
choke point.
what you were going to do
So
to
that is
survive
pretty
that
close
one
to the
wave.
cart, but I'm
Just
gonna
like
go ahead
Dungeon
and set
Defenders
up
1.
right here at this choke, and try to avoid having to use 2 defensive setups here. Same thing here. I'm going to go 4 wide. Make sure I got good coverage there.
This is like maybe I had played prior
Right,
to
and
this,
that's just about it. We've got 80 left.
but this is maybe
80's
like
enough. So let me go ahead and throw in.
day 2 of the current
I'll throw in
version of
some
Dungeon Defenders
arcane
2.
barriers.
So
I think this
just still learning
particular
what
section
button
we're gonna
does
go
what
3.
and how to place things, etc. That, and it was a little jankier then because things tried to snap.
Now with the
a
2
little bit
entrances
too,
on
because
this
it
side,
did
we
various
definitely have a
positions.
strong side and a weak side. This, of course, although most of our setup is over here, this is actually going to be our weak side because we've got 2 entrances coming in. And then this will set up as our strong side. But let's go ahead and get started through wave 1 here. See if we can get these baddies down. Now, I did unlock a new hero ability on my apprentice, which is pretty badass, and I'll show it in action here.
You didn't
So you just
unlock
got
your abilities
3
until you
baddies
leveled
in that
up and
front pack.
everything.
Check them out. Oh yeah,
So that's like my first time ever using
that's pretty awesome.
the
right
apprentice's tornado, which at the time was just so broken powerful.
there. Just can wreck that whole lane. I'm
For
excited to see
early
what that
game,
ability,
anyway.
That ability, pardon me, can do once it get a little higher level.
And this is
Looks like
before
we got
all
some
the power
baddies in
creep,
there
too.
Right now.
Look at the numbers I'm doing: 282,
Got some guys taking a little
423.
angle.
I'm critting for 400.
On our cart, but on our
Now,
towers
obviously,
there.
only level 5.
Right, and that's going to get it for wave 1. Now I'm going to
So you get your 4 keys back,
set up all of my defenses before
and you
I
can
worry
go
about
get
any
more mana
upgrades,
with your 4 keys.
which means I'm going to need to get some more arcane barriers over on this side.
Such a
And that's going to help out this side
weird system. I
considerably.
mean, in DD1, you're used to running around and opening all the chests.
So let's see. Let's
And
just
then,
go
like, you
right in
open all
front
the
of these
chests for
guys.
loot as
I'm
well.
going to use 2 of them over here. We'll put 1 right there. And then just another one right next to it. And that's going to help the strength on this side out quite a bit.
The mini-map
And
quite a
then
bit
let's
different,
hop
too.
on over to our monk. Get a little monk action going here.
All right, let's check this out real quick. This is the hero deck. It was a 3-hero deck, and it wasn't like it was today. You couldn't hot swap in between characters. That came in a later update. So how it worked is before you entered a map, you would set up your hero deck of you want to use these 3 heroes throughout the map. And then once you got into the map, you could only use those 3 heroes. And you had to go to the Defender Forge, which once again, from DD1 as well, to swap to a different hero. There was no hot swapping. It did. Actually, the more updates the game, that was one of their early criticisms, is the more updates the game had, the further and further away from DD1 it became. A lot of people did not like that. And, you know, a lot of people obviously was fine with it and kept going. But very weird system. The UI, how it all worked, and then having to go to the Defender Forge. Like when they removed the Defender Forge, a lot of people were really pissed about it. But I personally was like, this is the greatest quality of life thing ever. Not having to run all the way back over to swap a hero, and then also having the ability to hot swap in between different heroes. But yeah, there's a look at the UI of the Defender Forge.
See, and first things first, I want to get a boost aura on these towers.
There, the Flame Aura, which was then a boost aura.
Locked location.
The Flame Aura
locked
didn't
location.
exist
There
then.
we go, right there in the middle. So we get these towers all boosted up. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Getting a boost aura right there. And then, for good measure, I'm going to throw some electric auras in right in
And then since there
front.
was no Flame Auras,
See, I'm just going to put 1 on that
electric
side.
auras, or
Yeah, I've
lightning
got enough
auras.
cash to go ahead and upgrade.
I was real close from DD1 at this point, so I was still calling them electric auras and not lightning auras. But the lightning strike aura was originally an AoE defense, like the flame aura is today. So this was your damaging aura on your monk. It was your only real damaging aura as far as dealing direct damage. You did have, of course, the Serenity aura, which became the current boost aura. And then the Skyguard Tower as well, which at level 4, I don't have those unlocked yet. But yeah, the Lightning Strikes Aura then was an AoE like the Flamar is now, where it would hit multiple enemies.
It is. I should actually upgrade the boost first, though. See, we got good coverage on those electric R's. Now we're going to have to put 2 over on this side, which is fine. Let's see, we'll put 1. Oh, wrong R. There we go. We'll get 1 right here. And then another right there. And that'll provide a little damage on these guys before they get in too deep. And I've got 50 left, so I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that electric aura just a touch. And then switch back over to my apprentice.
Oh yeah, that is for sure.
The rest of the way here. And that really is going to do it for the build. From here on out, it's just defend.
Same thing with falling off maps.
Protect.
That's
all that good stuff.
one thing that has
now,
never
I do
gone
still
away.
have room to throw down a few more defenses. But I'm going to save.
See, we're wave
save
2 now, and
everything
we
I get
still didn't get enough mana to build the map fully.
to get
Now you
these
see, we
bad
got
boys
290
upgraded
DU left.
first. Take that. Oh yeah.
That a tornado does so much damage then.
We got some baddies that did find a little angle there. On the
There was a
cart.
real
Of
big
course,
problem with loot disappearing off the
just
ground
starting
back
off in
then.
the easiest mode. Not too big of an iron.
So you always
or not
picked
too-
up the
too
loot
bad of a
as soon
problem
as
to protect
possible
This angle they got
as
right
it
here.
dropped.
I'm sure on the tougher difficulties, though, that will be something I am going to want to think of or think about. And looking on the mini-map, it looks like I'm all good over on that other side. So my strong side is holding up. And I should be able to get some nice upgrades in place by the time this wave is done.
Look at that dodging javelin thrower attacks. I
Let's
could
see,
never
there's
do that
9 more
today.
baddies.
I would just stand there and eat the shot. All of the
Correct.
goblins and orcs and everything are all very, very vanilla at this point.
And there we go. That gets it for wave 3. So let's go ahead and get some upgrades in place.
I don't think I'll end up even spending
Done
all
electric
of the
upgraded.
DU on this one.
I already
Let's pop
upgraded.
forward a little bit to
No, I didn't. There we go.
go to wave 5 and see what we have.
Big
See how we have it
range.
all built out.
So they
Yeah,
will
I didn't
stay
spend
back and
any
just
more
wreck your
DU,
defenses if you
and
don't
I
get up
just
there and take care of them.
Dumped everything into upgrades.
And let's see, what do we need to upgrade?
The mini
I don't
bosses
think
were,
we need
yeah.
any more upgrades on this side.
At this
I
point,
could
though, I
throw
think
down
the
another
only one I had
another
unlocked
tower
was
or
the
two.
ogre. Like, the boss fights weren't in yet.
But I think I will just roll with what I got here and see if I can
Like
survive
Betsy,
wave 5.
etc.
Definitely
It was a
nice
different
little
game
twist
back
this
then.
little-
You
this
just
map
there
here
was
with the
no
gate
hero
control up
DPS.
top and the additional
The hero
entrance.
DPS was really, really bad.
I can
And
see in,
you just
the tougher
relied on your
modes
defenses
of
and
the
you repaired
game
your
where that
walls and you
could play
repaired
quite a
through
factor.
the
Let's
ogre
just go ahead
damage
and
or
get wave
whatever.
5 rolling here and see what we get.
Is before long before all the massive power
This
creep
is my
that the
first
game
time
has
playing
today
this map here this
from
morning.
players and from
I,
enemies.
Did one test
If
run
you got
on it
smacked
and-
by
and
something
got
back
tore up pretty
then,
bad from that gate
you weren't going to
opening
get one tapped.
and
you know?
failing to pay attention.
I mean, some things would
But
do more
it's
damage
looking
than
like
others,
now
of
that I've
course.
got that gate up top there protected, not going to be as much of an issue. Anxious to get into some of the upgrading and everything too.
There's a
That guy's quite the
Draken.
bad boy there, isn't he?
the war boars. I think the war boars were called something else then. I'm not
He's
positive.
getting handled, but He's got quite the resistance to the magic damage. Now, of course, with this setup, I'm pretty much all magic damage. But still getting the job done here. There we go. So we've got 30 baddies left. How we doing on the top side? We're doing good up there for now. Let's loot up the hotness. Yeah, I tell you, that tornado is great crowd control, and does pretty decent damage.
Maybe
as
there's
well.
not a mini boss here yet. I didn't
Let's
see
what
one
we
at
got
all
going
during
on
Wave
up top.
5.
Seems like we got a bit of a roadblock up there.
This is only map number 2.
One of our towers is getting chewed up a
like
bit.
of
We're just
the
gonna go ahead and
original
let that
first
bad boy fall if
campaign.
need be. Nope, and there we go. We have victory.
There was only 2 kinds of damage.
So there is another quick look.
There was
At Dungeon
physical
Defenders
damage
2.
and magic damage. There's a look at that victory screen at the end of game. Gives you a little more appreciation for what we have today. You know, it was very, very, very vanilla as far as what you got. You could look at the general summary. You could look at the team summary, and then individual player stats for like damage done or whatever. But yeah, very, very vanilla compared to what we have here today. That is for sure. All right, now before we get our first giveaway going, let's take a look. Yeah, the greatest finds, if it was looking for 10s, that would be incredible. That would be absolutely awesome if it showed that you got a 10 out of 10 on that particular run. Now let's pop over and take a look at the Tavern. Now the Tavern is another thing that greatly, greatly changed. You see up top here, it says Entry Tavern. Basically, when you loaded into the game, you were in this Entry Tavern. You'll know when the giveaway starts. The giveaway has not started yet. This is the Entry Tavern, which means when you loaded into the game, you were in an Entry Tavern. Well, what you had to do then was choose which difficulty you wanted to play, and that would load you into a new tavern, which was a tavern based off of that difficulty. So you couldn't just go up to the war table and say, okay, I want to play Chaos 6 of so-and-so map. You had to actually load into that difficulty's tavern. And the difficulties, of course, were quite different. But let's take a look at the OG Tavern here. This one's going to be 2014 as well.
Hello everyone, Juicebags here, and welcome back to another Dungeon Defenders 2 sneak peek. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Tavern. Now here, as you see, we are in an Entry Tavern. So we're going to go ahead and head over to the War Recruiter here and head on into...
Here was the starting difficulties. It was all based off of your level. At the time, max level was level 25. So if you were level 1 to 3, you went into this zone, level 3 to 5, etc., etc. And then when you got to level 25, you were maxed out. And then there was level 25 plus, and then level 25 plus plus. And level 25 plus plus, of course, was the hardest difficulty available in the game at the time. But yeah, you had to load into your tavern to go up to another tavern to get into the difficulty you wanted to play.
Taverns. Now we're going to go, the level 5 through 10 tavern and just set a private game here. And that'll get me into my own private tavern.
Now you see that find group button down below. It would random matchmake you into a group or into a tavern with other players if you click that find group thing. And it was actually ungodly irritating because microphones were enabled. At the time, you couldn't turn them off. So, one thing that Dungeon Defenders 2 has is it has a very, very wide... Oh, it's still enabled on console? You can turn it off, though, can't you? One thing Dungeon Defenders 2 has is a very, very wide demographics group of players. There's like 12-year-old kids that love playing Dungeon Defenders 2, And then there's 80-year-old grandmas that like to play Dungeon Defenders 2. Yes, believe it or not, there are 80-year-old grandmas that play DD2. So yeah, they had well, they had to remove it because it was driving people away. It was so ungodly irritating. But yeah, anyway, so we went into our entry tavern. We're now loading into the difficulty tavern. This is
Now,
the
I'm
level
really
5 through
hoping,
10
I know
difficulty.
a lot of people have mentioned it, that later on down the road, there's some sort of, some ways to customize your private tavern, as there was, for the original Dungeon Defenders.
Okay, so that's me saying that 10 years ago. We never got it. But over the last 10 years, people have constantly brought that up and they've never been able to do it. The 24-hour stream, yeah, that's not going to happen. Let's go back just a little bit and look at another thing that was in the game here.
Your private tavern, as there was.
We see right there, it said Hero Manager. You couldn't just create a hero. You had to go to the Hero Manager to create a hero. And it was actually a device in your tavern you had to run up to. You use that to create your hero and to move them around in your deck, etc.
For the original Dungeon Defenders, to be able to make it your own. Anyways, you first come into the tavern, you got the war table directly in front of you. And that is where you're going to actually queue up and enter your missions.
So we loaded into that level 5 tavern. So all of these maps are going to be level 5 maps, is how it worked back then.
See, I've got 3 unlocked now that I've yet to play. I'll definitely have to get in and check them out.
Very, very different.
And if we head on over here to the left, we're going to have a hero manager.
And here it is. There's your 3
us
deck.
To set our hero deck, which is the 3 heroes that we'll be able to take into battle. And as you see, I currently have 4 heroes total. I'm using, the Huntress, the Monk, and the Apprentice. And then here we've got the Defender's Forge, which
XP
we
was
all
a little
know and
weird,
love.
but it was very
Will
easy to
allow
level
your
up.
Your info, your inventory, through your various bags.
There's the original inventory.
Cache there.
Once again, you couldn't just open your inventory. You had to run over to your forge, just like in DD1, and look at the hero at the inventory.
It'll allow you to check out your hero deck as well. One of the main things you can do through the forge, of course, is you're putting your points into your specialization. As you see, I've got 2 points available now. And at this low level, I think I'm going to throw those into lightning damage. So let's go ahead and just pop.
So that's the first rendition of hero points, or like your AP points, your ascension points today. You just added points to it, and like you see here, by putting a point into lightning damage, it gives me 3.75% chance to deal 14% additional damage. So that whole philosophy, of course, became a shard for the flame aura, but originally you had to spec into that.
Can I do both?
I actually
points?
forgot
Yeah,
about that.
Both points into lightning damage. And I think we should be good there now. Let's see.
Thanks there, Shannon.
Yep, 0 of 2, and you see I've got 2 in lightning damage. So that's going to increase my lightning auras up just a little bit. Now moving on along.
Check this
through our
out.
Tavern here.
There's
You
a ship
see
in the
on
tavern.
Right, we've got Lily's upgrade shop. Now the upgrade system, I still need to delve into to check it all out to see how it works.
Oh, it
But here is
was.
the basics. Let's see.
So
if I-
here is how you upgraded. Crazy. Instead of just spending gold and upgrading, you had to sacrifice items into a piece of gear to get them upgraded. So you put the item you wanted upgraded in the middle, and then you'd fill the slots with different pieces of gear to get something upgraded.
find an item that
Very, very
can be
different.
upgraded. What's the best thing I have? It's already upgraded. Let's see, in bag number 2. 9, 8. It's looking like
Yeah,
This
Tavern
powerful
customization would be
pole
awesome.
arm.
Ooh, there's the original.
Maybe the best thing I have currently.
Is that
So
the
I'm gonna
turtle
go ahead
power?
and throw that into the center upgrade slot over here. And now it's asking us to add some items to be able to upgrade that. Yeah, it's not letting me click on upgrade. It usually comes up with a little error box there. But anyway, let's go ahead and throw just some random goodies.
Just any items, and
Into
you
the
see
slots.
the progress bar up top.
Now you see the upgrade progress bar here. I'm not sure if that means, like right now, can I upgrade?
Also, you can note defense speed on a pole arm. A lot of people remember that system. Well, no, Payman is actually on vacation in Japan right now. He'll be streaming when he gets back for sure. But yeah, he's on holiday.
Let's see. Yep, it allowed me to go ahead and upgrade it with just the 2, so I'm assuming that progress bar is maybe the level of quality
the upgrade animation.
As I said,
That's
I still
awesome.
got a lot of research to do on the upgrade department. But there we go.
So then you look up top, we got a point for upgrading that piece of gear. Now, of course, when you upgrade, all your stats go up on the item, but then you chose where you put the points. So like if this was a pole arm that I wanted more defense speed on, I would put that point into defense speed, and that would upgrade that individual thing. Just wildly, wildly different than what we have today.
Pole arm is now upgraded and a little bit better. +1 available points.
Yeah, he's not going to be back until
Let's see, let's throw
like
that into
November
defense speed.
1st, I think. He's not going to stream right on November 1st. It'll take him a couple days to get
And there we go. We've got
back into the
an
swing of
item
things.
upgraded
But he's
and
been
ready to
gone,
go.
I think, for a
Over
week
here,
or
we got
two
the costume
now.
shop. Of course, costumes are not
There's
in yet,
Dan. It
although
was
I'm
actually
sure there will
Dan's
be a-
idea that I do this. I was just going to grind
large factor in
expeditions,
the
but I
game.
thought, how boring, right?
And that could be where Trendy makes some of their money, since the game is going to be free to play. Now we head on over to this corner. We got Griffin's Relic Shop.
So this guy was originally a relic vendor only sold relics. That was all his thing.
And Griffin sells all kinds of random goodies. See, there's a pretty darn good totem compared
And
to
I mean, at the
my
time, it
low-level
was
stuff I've got
huge.
now.
7 upgrades, and you look at the
Well, it's
pieces
just
of
a
gear I
few
had, they all
items
had like 1 and 2
available.
upgrades available.
In Griffin's Relic Shop. Over here we got Bane, who's going to have all the hotness for the weapons. See, these things are
And then there's the weapon
that powerful
vendor.
polearm. There's a bit better than what I have currently. I'm not going to spend, since I'm so new to the game still, I'm not going to spend any of my money out of that stuff, though. And then, let's see,
There's
we've got
another hero manager.
over here. That's a duplicate of the hero manager over at the top side over there. And then, of course, we got to have a barkeep, the Tavern Keep. And currently,
Then that was your bug reporting, which I think
how
that's
you
still
report
there, isn't it?
bugs.
Doesn't
So,
function anymore,
obviously
maybe,
that will
but
change in the future.
was still there. But yeah, there
See, we got a stubborn old man.
was the
What's up with
tavern.
him?
Stubborn old
He's just
man
sitting
did
there in the
nothing.
corner being stubborn. Is that what it's how it's going to be there, man? Of course, a couple of lovely ladies sitting at the bar.
And there is the
And then
original
back here, a little
Mystic
secret room
before
for,
she was a playable character.
any secret meetings you're going to be having in your tavern.
And there was
Down here
nothing in
yet?
the basement. No black market vendor down there
Definitely
at all.
a lot going on in these taverns compared to the older Dungeon Defenders tavern. But hopefully, like I mentioned, we're able to customize this a little down the road.
It's the
and
second
kinda
time I
make this
mentioned
our
that.
own.
The
But
customization.
there is another sneak peek for Dungeon Defenders 2. Thank you very much for watching. There will be a lot more.
All right. For those curious, I will make this playlist public after it's done, but I'm still going through it and dialing it in. But wanted to kind of set up kind of the evolution of the game a little bit. But with that in mind, oh, it's giveaway time, y'all. It is giveaway time. So we got all kinds of goodies to give away. We are going to give away some juicy items for DD1, DD2, and DDA. Additionally, Chromatic sent me some special codes for today only. And we've got a couple of gem codes. We've got a gem code for 100 gems. We've got another gem code for 250 gems that we're going to give away. And then we also have some of the custom chromatic only giveaway items. So I got 2 pairs of pizza wings and 2 protium shellmets to give away today as well. So normally those are only available through chromatic streams, but they hooked it up and sent a couple of them my way. So I don't have a lot of them. I've got one of them for YouTube and one of them for Twitch of each of those. And then of course I've got the juicy items. But let's start off with a juicy item. We will go let's see. Where are we going to start? I think we'll have to start on Twitch. Yeah, we'll start off on Twitch. So give me a hashtag 10 years. Hashtag 10 years in chat over on Twitch. And this will be for the juicy item of your choice. So a juicy fruit pet for Dungeon Defenders 1. A juicy head flare for DD2. Make it all one word there, Luke. Don't add a space. Do it like the other folks have done it. Hashtag 10 years. All one word. Oh, anyway, we got the juicy fruit pet for DD1. We got the juicy head flare for DD2. And then we've got a juicy fruit pet for DDA as well. Winner's choice there. You could take any of those items, whatever you get. Whatever you get, you can get. So we'll be giving those away. I'll give you guys like 30 seconds to get your hashtag 10 years in chat there. And don't worry, YouTube. We'll be doing one on YouTube as soon as we get this one over. So let's do a giveaway here first, and then we'll do the next giveaway on YouTube. And we'll get that squared away. Give you guys just like I said, a few seconds to get your hashtag 10 years in chat. And then we will draw a winner. Now, remember, too, I know a lot of people, of course, you all here now are all here now. So, you don't have to, you can still enter, but you don't have to worry about that. But I know a lot of people was not going to be able to make it to the live stream today. So I do have a giveaway going on my YouTube channel as well that will end tomorrow night at midnight. So give you guys a couple more seconds here to get your hashtag 10 years in chat. And then we will pick a winner. And this one's on Twitch. We'll do one on YouTube right after. So a couple more seconds. No new entries. Not yet there, YouTube. Not yet. We'll have a giveaway on YouTube here in just a moment. But right now, this one is on Twitch. All right, looks like that is all the entries on Twitch. And here we go. The winner is Rula06. Grats there, Rula. So let me know in chat what item you want. DD1, DD2, or DDA. And I will send it right over to you. Just say something in chat. Let me know you're here. And let me know which item you want. And I will get it to you right away. DD2. All right, so I'm going to whisper that to you here right now. So just enter. You've got block whispers turned on there, Rula. So send me a whisper. You can just click on that and click whisper, and I will reply to that. But you have got it blocked, so I can't send you your code. So if you would, just click on my name there and hit the little whisper button and send me a message. Now, in the meantime, we'll get started on YouTube here. Let me get the bot. I have to do them separate because the bot can only log into YouTube or Twitch. It can only log into one of them at the same time. It can't log into both. All right, so here we go. This one is for YouTube. Give me a hashtag 10 years in YouTube chat. Hashtag 10 years in YouTube chat. Still waiting for your whisper there, Rula. Send me a whisper. I can't send you your code unless you send me a whisper because you got them blocked. You already sent it, but I don't see it. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There we go. I see it now. It's still not. It just says the user has turned on block whispers from strangers. So you're going to have to go into your Twitch setting and change it, or I'm not going to be able to send it to you. I don't see a message from you at all. I see where I tried to send you a message. Yeah, so anyway, get that hashtag 10 years in YouTube chat. Now, on YouTube, there is no instant messaging system. A lot of y'all are already familiar with this from other giveaways on the channel, but so if you win on YouTube, thanks for subscribing there, Scaredamard and Cosmos. If you win on YouTube, you have to send me a message on Twitch, Twitter, or Discord to claim your prize because YouTube does not have an instant messaging system. Give you guys a few seconds to get that in here. Try now. Let's see here. There we go. Now it's letting me. All right, so just take that code I just sent you and enter that in the mailbox in game, and that will unlock your juicy head flare for DD2. Congrats. Congrats. Give you guys a couple more seconds to get your hashtag 10 years in chat over on YouTube. And then we'll pick a winner. Once again, it's on you. If you went on YouTube, y'all, you got to contact me on Twitch, Twitter, or Discord and let me know which item you want. DD1, DD2, or DDA. I've got all three of them available today. So just let me know which item that you want, and we'll get you squared away. But you got to send me that message, Twitch, Twitter, or Discord. All right, looks like the entries has slowed on YouTube, so we'll go ahead and pick a winner. And the winner is Troy. Congrats there, Troy. So send me a message on Twitch, Twitter, or Discord, and I will get you squared away. Let me know what item you want, DD1, DD2, or DDA. So congrats to you. And let's get back in to the goodies here. You can send me that message whenever you want. Thaden, thank you so much, Thaden. 67 months. Damn, dude. All right, so let's hop back in and check out some more goodies. So that was a look at the Tavern. Now, I mentioned the difficulties. The hardest difficulty being 25 plus. And this is a look at what 25 plus, which was the hardest difficulty, looked like
to some Dungeon
10 years
2.
ago.
Now, in my little update video, I mentioned there's going to be a wipe incoming, and the influence voting is actually going right now, and it looks like it's going to be a full wipe.
This was the first wipe of early access. There was two wipes in the actual pre-alpha early access time, and this was the first one.
is kind of in the lead now, and it's got a pretty substantial lead. So
There
I'm
was
assuming
wipes
it's gonna
before
be a full
that, but as
wipe.
far as like the
So I
public
have
early
ceased
access,
from farming
pre-alpha,
those
this was the
wyvern
very
tokens.
first wipe.
However, I did want to hop in today and show everyone my strategy. What map are we going to do? I think we're going to do the throne room today. The throne room is a great farming spot pre-incursion mode. And, of course, nightmare mode will be in place after the wipe.
Yeah, this is right before Nightmare came to the game. And then... did you send me a message? Because until you send me a message, I can't send it to you. Don't send me a username. Send me a message. Oh, I see you. I see you. There you go. And what item did you want? Do you want that DD2 item there, Troy? DD1, DD2, or DDA? Up to you. 100% your call. And I will get it sent right to you here. DD2, alrighty. There we go. So I just sent it back to you on Twitch. Just enter that in the mailbox in-game, and that will unlock the Juicy Head Flare for DD2. All right, let's pop back in and check out 25++ Throne Room on hard. Now, you're going to notice a couple things here. First off, it's an entirely different throne room other than what you all are used to of the base throne room. Let's jump into it here.
And more experience. But let's go ahead and do the throne room on hard mode. And here we go.
So we're 25++ hard.
I'm going to bring my second monk, who is a boost monk and a DPS monk, for my third. But we're going to let the squire and my main builder monk do all the heavy.
So here you see the keys had disappeared now. You still have to run and grab the chests, but the keys are gone. Additionally, I only had to pop one chest open, and it gave me the full 1,400 mana. So this was one of the quality of life additions that they added to the game super early, getting rid of the keys and giving you enough mana to full-on build the map. Remember, this is still, there's only 4 heroes in the game right now, just the original 4. Nothing else was here at this stage.
So we've got 1,400 to start off with. And see, right at this center crystal cart, we'll go ahead and set up. And we're going to go with, I think we're going to just cannonball it out here.
So this was the original throne room, which is now the Assault on Throne Room map. The original throne room was an incursion map.
See, how do we want to do it? I'm wondering if I should throw a ballista in the mix just for good measure. You know what? What the hell? Why
Basically, how all that worked is you had free play, which is the normal maps, kind of comparable to like expeditions today. And then you had incursions, which was a very limited number of maps. It was similar to the incursions we have today. There was some kind of increased difficulty element. But for general farming, just like doing expeditions right now, you would go to free play. And that's where we are here.
Let's start off with 4 cannons and a ballista on each side. I think I'm going to have enough DU for this. But let's see. Who knows? Let's see. So we got the 4 cannons and a ballista on each side. Now let's take a look at our side objectives, which are these window controls. 2 window controls, 1 on each side.
I used to use cannons a lot early. They were different than they are now. They were very powerful back then. They busted some heads. They were also... You guys know the Shatter combo today. Well, the Shatter combo originally was incredibly powerful versus what it is today. The original Shatter combo, if you hit an enemy, it wasn't about earth damage. It was about crushing damage. So if you hit an enemy with crushing damage that was frozen, it would shatter that enemy. Now that combo wasn't. You could freeze enemies, like on the Gates of Dragonfall map, but was ridiculous. The cannons had the shattering damage, so you would get, or the crushing damage, pardon me, so you would get that shatter combo on frozen enemies.
Both entrances. We want them pointed over that way too. Always helps out. We're only going to be able to do it with those first couple, I believe. Let's see, we'll go with
Trying to get a little dual coverage,
4 cannons right there.
and then the backup for the side
And
lanes, I
let's do
think.
the other side objective. This window.
I don't really
control here
remember
as
this
well.
build here.
Going to do the same thing. Going to point these down so that it covers both of these entrances. And it's important to get some upgrades on your cannons right away. As you
I remember
want,
a
to
super
get that
cool cannon
range
build from back then
dialed
on
in.
on
This side,
ramparts.
it's a little bit easier to get a little dual coverage. And then last but not least, we've got the throne core right back here, and I'm going to go ahead and set up for the throne core right here by this set of armor. That way I've got a go-to.
I think this ends up
if
being a
something,
fail run.
comes down and starts
Here's
beating
another
my
thing:
friends.
the environmental traps on the game.
I've got a way.
You had to use them back
Yeah.
then, or you didn't have to use them, but they were very, very powerful, very, very
See, we're gonna
helpful.
go the same
They
thing.
still
You know
are,
what,
but
here,
they don't
let's
get
go,
used as much now. So, like, you get that knight that slams down
let's just go
on
with 4 cannons
this
on each
particular
side and
map.
See what we have left.
That was a
Now, this map is
crazy
not,
powerful thing.
Currently available in incursion mode, so I haven't done it in a while. I'm assuming this will probably get the job done. Alright, and then let's hop on over to our monk and get some auras laid down here. Getting out my builder monk first, and let's see.
I still think
where our
that's the best
cannon
looking weapon
range
in the game.
ends, so I want to go ahead and slap
Trying to get a
down
little AoE up front to thin them out.
auras right there. I'm going to go with a triple stack on each side, and depending on if I have
That's such a great looking pole arm.
enough, I don't think I'm going to have enough to actually a triple stack is, I'm not going to have enough for a triple stack even. So let's go with a double stack there. Same thing over here. Let's check the range. I always like to make sure that that lightning aura is in the range of the cannons. That way they're getting the double dose there. The double dose. Same thing up here.
Huge auras, huh?
Go with a double stack. See, I've got 400 left, so I may be able to throw some more auras in. We'll have to see here. I'm going to need, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to need 240.
Skip it forward a little bit.
For,
So we had
for some-
4 cannons,
auras.
2 lightning
gotta make
auras,
sure I'm not,
and then a couple of
leaving those
ballistas
boost
on those
auras out.
far lanes as well. And then I end
I
up
think I'm
putting,
going to end up going unboosted.
or there's a boost star there. We didn't throw boosts. Looks like I don't
Yeah, I
throw
think I'm gonna
boosts
go
on the
unboosted on those
lightning
auras,
auras, just on the
just to
cannons.
make it a little bit more AFKable and fun. See, I've got 120 left. We got 40 more right here. Okay, that's going to leave me 80. What do I want to do with my 80? You know what? Let's go without it. Let's get this thing started.
The monk didn't have double jump then either.
Oh yeah, these guys are just getting steamrolled. Only level 29s in the 25++, even on hard modes. So we actually have got it pretty darn easy here.
Looked like the cannons were hitting
Well,
for
I
like
guess I could boost,
1,300.
I could boost 2 sets of auras. maybe.
Oh, somebody asked about the
We'll have to see
damage
where, the
types
first
earlier,
boss
and I
comes
think I ended
out
up going to something else, but there
and
was only two
decide whether or
damage
not I
types.
wanna
There was
boost those
physical
bad
damage and
boys.
magic damage. And
Get a
then
little bugged out, dude.
that actually became a
out,
large
homie.
factor a little bit later on.
How's things
This is
going over here?
2014.
Piece of cake.
This is
strategy,
like,
even with, obviously
probably
I'm
around
overgeared for this map,
Halloween
but this strategy
2014.
is what I used when I was leveling up. This was my original power leveling map. Before I was capable of doing the incursions, I used this map and to good success. I got almost all of my guys leveled up using it. I was originally doing it with just a squire
Oh, that cannon was hitting for 2K there.
and using that as an opportunity to get leveled. And like just about any map, the key is, don't waste too much on defense or on repairing. Try to time your upgrades so that it saves you that repair money. Now, of course, it's not that much to repair, but you want to make sure you get everything upgraded as far
I
as
actually
you can.
completely forgot that
Only
this
10
was
baddies left this wave.
this is the assault map. This was the original
good.
throne room back before. I mean, it makes more sense now with
Piece of
the
cake.
story.
Yeah, the voting right now, as it stands, the full wipe on the initial voting or initiative voting, pardon me.
There's
is
another
about
thing. Some of you all, you old timers around, you prepare to be instantly triggered. Did you hear me say initiative voting? There was a system in the game before where every day that you logged into the game, you earned initiative points. And then they would have initiative votes. Of course, depending on how many initiative points you had, depended on how many votes you got, on various things, like what hero comes next. In this case, it was, do they do a full wipe or do they not do a full wipe? And the initiative vote came back to just wipe it clean. That way everybody was starting in the same spot again. But it ended up, not to bring back the old rage moments, but it was quite a triggering thing because they put that whole initiative system in and then they didn't stick to it. For example, the Mystic was supposed to, according to the initiate votes, the Mystic should have launched before the Barbarian. Yet the company felt the Barbarian was going to make them more money, so they launched the Barbarian first anyway, even though they held a vote on what hero to open up next. And the Mystic won. But we got the Barbarian first. So it ended up pissing off a lot of people, and a lot of people ended up not using it. But it was an interesting system, earn initiative points for logging in, and then that allowed you to vote on what happened in the future of the game. Well, I mean, you're sad when those stopped, but also by that point, they were completely ignoring all of our votes anyway, so it didn't even matter. It was like a political election in the U.S. You got the popular vote, and then you got actually who won. And they're not always the same thing,
30% ahead of the partial wipe in the voting.
Yeah, it was partial wipe or full wipe were the choices.
Right, so let's see what we want to do. I think I'm going to go ahead and buff up the 2 side boosts. That way I don't have to pay much attention to them. Or the 2 side sets of auras. We'll add these. Spend our last bits of DU and get these
That's
guys
the thing that catches
upgraded
me
as
off
well.
guard the most is plopping that flame aura down, and it's not a flame aura. It's a boost aura.
And what next? I think first things first, I want to go with getting these cannons and the boost auras.
Now, one of the big things back then,
upgraded up.
too,
Of course,
is when you upgraded a defense, you increased its range, which some things still have that in the game. And now, of course, we get to range caps quite frequently in the game. Those things weren't in the game before. You know, you could, well, I mean, you could, there was a range that was the possibility you could get to, but there was no deadly strike shards. There was no cap. All you got was diminishing returns for putting more points into range.
The first upgrade is the most impactful upgrade. Now let me take a look at which gate the baddie's coming out of. So it's coming out of the armory path. I'll definitely want to make sure I get that side buffed up. Still 700 left, so I've got a good ways to go yet. In fact, I think
we'll have
these
bosses
R's
on
down
this
there are
one.
very healthy. My R's aren't doing too
Like
much. until we
ogres.
Get them buffed up.
I think it was probably
The first
only
boss
ogres,
is
maybe
gonna be
then.
coming out of this side, so I definitely want to get this side all squared away. I'm gonna go ahead and up these R's as well.
You see the? Let me see if I can see it here.
how these R's doing? They're very healthy.
I missed it again. There it was. If you look on this path right here, there's a red exclamation point. That red exclamation point was your indicator that a boss was going to come out from there. It didn't show the bosses on the billboard. But if you saw that red exclamation point, that's where you had to look for a mini boss.
My R's aren't doing too much until we get them buffed up. Hey, the first boss is going to be coming out of this side, so I definitely want to get this side all squared away. I'm going to go ahead and up these R's as well. And that leaves me 150 left. I'll just throw them right here. And get this thing started. Now, just the Wave 2 boss. I can't imagine this one being all that challenging. And we will just sit right here and wreck the faces.
Oh, no, it's Malthius.
Malthius is about to be dead.
Malthius
And
got
there he is.
boomed by them cannons. The original anti-mini boss setup, Cannonball Towers.
Gold. Either way, the voting goes for initiative. Gold will be wiped, as there's going to be a rejuvenated economy system put into place.
Oh, little did
So
I
I'm not
know
overly
what the
concerned
economy would
with,
turn into.
farming up any gold right now as well. As I mentioned in that update video, I'm going to have extensive coverage of DD2. I'm really having a lot of fun with the game. I was a complete addict of the original Dungeon Defenders.
I had no idea
Dungeon
when I
Defenders
said this.
Eternity pretty extensively. DD2, I am definitely going to get my money's worth out of this game. Because, you know, of course, everyone knows I love me some tower defense. And it just makes it even better when you can add in a little third-person shooter mode.
Still so true. I wish that it was a more popular
To just up your
genre.
tower defense to the
There's
next
nothing
level.
better than
I
third-person
think,
action
we're not
defense. It's
packing
just
much of a
such a
punch
great
here on these
genre.
Rs. So I'm going to go ahead and get these Rs upped
I wish there was more
on this
games
side
like
here.
it, or a
Give 'em a
bigger,
little bit more help. They,
I guess, a
the
bigger
guys are
player
coming in
base
hot.
interested in the genre. Look at them
Oh my,
cannons, man. They were
my
just
cannons
wiping.
We don't want that.
Yep. I wish I would have paused on that tooltip. I'm not going to go back now.
Looking good thus far. Only 5 baddies left. And it's pretty much as good as done. So, this wave I will I'll up. The rest of my cannons that didn't get upped, you see my boosts are still
The boost drained
they're
so
gonna wear
quick
down
back
no matter
then.
what, just because their percentage will tick away as the baddies are standing in it. Let me go ahead and get all that upped. See, this is all upped already. We're good there. Same
Jump
thing
forward
with
and
this
check out wave
side.
5 here.
Well, good lord.
Yeah, it's wave 4. Here's wave 5.
Which is going to come down this lane. So let's go ahead and round off. Whoop. Let's go ahead and round off all these guys here. I'll go ahead and buff up these Rs while I'm at it. 600 left. Give me some pet food. Of course, with a complete wipe, the pet food will be gone as well. But whatever. I'm stoked about it. You know, a lot of people are really upset on the forums and are bitching pretty substantially about the wipeage. But they gave us a pretty huge notice. It is a pre-alpha game, so to think that there's not going to be multiple wipes is just silly. The wipes are going to happen. It's all part of the development. The game can't progress while it's, you know, in its current state.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. They're out.
Sat there and grinded out hundreds of hours worth of cosmetics and other items. You know, what were you thinking? It's pre-alpha. I mean, by all means, grind out the gear, get in and have fun with the, you know, push the difficulties of each map. But this is just pre-alpha. I mean, there's a way to go. You know, I'm assuming there's going to be more wipes. You know, of course,
there only ended up actually being one more past this, but there was indeed another wipe.
Be, I'm assuming a beta wipe, and maybe even another alpha wipe. I mean, pre-alpha. We haven't made it very far into the richness.
Got the pre-alpha stamp down in the bottom right-hand corner. I didn't notice that at first.
Wait for the boss. There comes the boss now.
Here's a ogre.
428,000 health. This guy should
400,000 health ogre. That was like crazy back then.
I'll throw a little distraction.
Well, they couldn't now because it's too far past launch.
Just to ensure his death. Timely demise of the boss.
I know it's not a popular opinion, but I personally feel like every game should be wiped that leaves early access and goes to launch.
It was already down to 70.
Get the experience that the developers intend.
Dungeon Defenders 2. This
going on there,
is
Han
the
Solo?
throne room on 25++ hard mode, and just a little bit more info about what is coming. We're gonna have.
All right, so that was. I don't think we're gonna have anything else. That ogre was the last thing.
Is huge. That of course is why there needs to be the wipeage.
So talked about the next update being huge. The next update is what brought in the nightmare tiers. The nightmare tiers brought a lot to the game. First off, the level cap went up from 25 to 50, but it additionally added an entire new loot system to the game. You know, it added the tiered difficulty, of course, the beginning of it. Before chaos tiers, there was nightmare tiers. And before nightmare tiers, there was this 25, level 20, level 25, etc., stuff. So the next update was called
the Flame Burst
and Survive.
Some Dungeon Defenders 2.
Loot and Survive.
The Loot and Survive update just came out. Just today. Sadly, I had to work all night, but here I am at 1 in the morning, ready to play some DD2. Now, as we all know, there's been a full wipe. So I'm assuming I'm going to have 0 characters here when I log in.
Jump
That's
through and look at it
means.
there. After this is the second rendition of the game, or the third rendition if you include the MOBA.
Is the Flame Burst.
Things look a little brighter. You know what? Let me look.
I'm just
Was there chest here?
Things got ugly there. Weird the way it started you off.
There's still a Defender Forge. There is still
like
chests.
I said, I'm assuming this is all part of the tutorial. Quests and missions.
New mini-map. Yep, all right. And there's the newer mini-map.
Oh. Things got ugly there. It seems like the camera view has
This is the very first tutorial they put in the game. So like when I loaded into the game for Wave 1, I already had these towers and stuff placed.
It feels a little different for sure.
It's a different tutorial than what we have today. But this was the original tutorial.
Approaching the crystal cart.
And apparently I started up without building anything at all in that first lane.
So they jump you right into
And then here's another thing. It showed you, when you leveled up, it showed you what you gained here. That was later. That was before the current rendition. Actually, that was before the rendition before the current rendition. The chest stayed for a while. But yeah, that was cool seeing what you gained as you leveled up. You see, you leveled up, you gained 45 health, max mana, hero damage ability power, defense power, and defense health. What up, Peace Boo? So, pretty cool thing, seeing all of the stuff you gained as you leveled.
Action here. Now, looks like you've got a little while before the next wave of enemies. It's time to improve your defenses.
So this was a tutorial. I'm just going to skip through this one.
Taking away the free shiz?
It looks like I failed it a few times.
Something new was released.
And here's a social tavern.
Open the forge.
This was before the town.
Yeah, man. I'm going to open the forge. New items available.
Oh, I see. What happened was it forced me in to that first map. And then after playing the first map, it sent me to town, which town didn't exist then. It was called the Social Tavern. So
a huge upgrade, but
check that out here.
So I'll take it. Anyway, let's
we still got that lovely end of game screen.
And get out
now with not working greatest finds.
I don't think they've made any changes in the tavern, but we're going to go check it out here. I'm curious to see how we're going to be queuing up for matches, if it's going to be the same way as it was.
Yeah, look how fast the load-in was. So here we go. This is the town.
Was released.
There was, like I said, there was no
forge.
town then. So it sent you to a tavern that had
I'm gonna open the forge.
A bunch of people in it, and then that was all my rewards. This is my first time logging into Tavern.
Costume,
basically.
Corrupted whelp. Oh yeah. Defense counselor. Lots and lots and lots of accessories.
All kinds of stuff.
A super rare reward for reaching level 25.
That was all of the supporter packs I bought.
Collector's edition.
Thanks for following there, Big Chief.
Anyway, there's all kinds of good
yeah, there's
good stuff.
There's Grumpy,
awesome indeed. Now let's see.
Defender Forge is still here.
Obviously, I'm gonna have to follow through. Items can be equipped at the forge. Indeed.
Let's see. There is the new
powerful
interface
new item do I want?
Without the hero manager. So you had it all in one place here.
Targets. Huh, I think I'm going to stick with the one I'm already wearing.
Those bags still haunt you?
I don't have any chest on, so anything I can get will be better. Same thing with the ring. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with Scavenger's Bite for just a moment. Alright, character hero deck. Oh, see, there we go. We can create a hero. Aha! At last, more character slots. That's awesome.
Thanks for subscribing there, Window Guy.
That was one of the things that were a little bit irritating before.
That's the funny thing. This was a huge upgrade at the time.
Why is it still giving me the exclamation point? Quests and missions. There we go. Check the mailbox. Alright. I already checked it once. I guess I need to do this in order here.
And there's
the
original Grumpy.
I will claim all them goodies here shortly.
No, that wasn't free. That was from supporter pack I bought.
Offering me up another quest.
All of that stuff was from supporter packs I bought. There was no free stuff. Well, I mean, anything marked free.
Huh.
You see there was one at the top.
Lots of
free
stuff.
bag upgrade.
You know what? Let me just go ahead and claim all this stuff.
That was just his name, Mr. Peepers.
And then go take a look at the forge and see what kind of interesting stuff.
By this point, I was already completely in love with the game, so I had bought every supporter pack
defense
that
counselor.
the game had, and that's what all that stuff is. After the
early
white,
access accessory,
you got it all at once instead of it
every
trickle
class.
feeding to you. This is what's the date on
costume.
this video? Let me see.
More gems. I'm not sure. I know I've got the collector's edition. So
July
that should be
29th, 2015.
I'm not really sure where all these other gems are coming from.
So this is what,
Dragon
like
Defender
8
title.
months after the very first video we looked at.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah, you got that free bag slot that it
The
showed.
Defense Council accessory. I'll have to check that out too. More costumes.
The Defense Council accessories originally it was an $80 paid thing. I don't have any videos of it because it was all under an NDA. It was $80 and you got 2 keys to play the game before all of this happened. That was right when the game was transitioning to from a MOBA to a tower defense game. But yeah, all this stuff, none of this was free. Well, I mean, some of this stuff was free for the wipe. It was like payment for the wipe. But like all these gems and all this was all paid for. None of that was free at all.
6,000 gems. Jesus, there's a lot of gems. More gems.
The Defense Council accessories
Huntress
ended up being the collector's edition.
2 hero creation slots. Pardon me.
But before
Thank
that,
you very much for those hero creation slots.
Just
Defense
access to the
Council
game.
accessory.
Paid access to the game, basically.
All right, I think that is everything. Yep, looks like that cleans out the mailbox anyway.
The thing that cracks me up is there not being a
got.
town, and this being the town. You had to click on all of those cosmetics to unlock them.
See, and these are all cosmetics, I believe.
There were actually items that filled your inventory up,
Cape.
and you had to go in and click them to unlock them.
Yep, that was all cosmetic stuff there.
Here's the skill spheres.
See, the sphere sheet looks similar. Of course, the proof will be in leveling them all up. I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way right now.
Almost
There
to where
we
you
go.
started.
Got 9 slots to start with.
Yeah,
That
this
will,
is. Well, what
be
did I
good
say
to
it
get
was?
going.
What was the date?
Now let's see. We got
pops
the
up
war
somewhere.
table.
I don't remember
yeah,
where.
We know
Oh,
about
there
the
it
war
is.
table. We got a
This was
little bit
July
lagginess
9th,
there.
29th, 2015.
It's all right. It's day 1. Day 1 of the new update. So I'll take it.
And then
Let's
here's
see.
the new
Where's
war
private?
table. And here's where you had the free play, the incursions. The difficulties changed. And you had normal, hard,
Definitely a different
Nightmare 1, Nightmare 2, etc. There we go.
Sorry
That's how you
for
got
the
into a private
smashing
match.
of the
So it was
microphone
still,
there.
like I said, the town
Definitely
wasn't
a
here
little
yet.
different. Incursion, that's what I'm talking about. Onslaught, oh yeah.
The original Onslaught.
Endgame. They're just calling it Endgame now. And Endgame Incursion, Endgame Onslaughts.
So they had 2 different modes as well. You had the regular Onslaught, the regular incursions, and then you had Endgame Onslaught, Endgame incursions, etc. Just very, very, very different. And it shows you now, instead of it being based on your level, things are based off of your item power. And that's how you kind of gauged what difficulty you should be playing.
So obviously I want to get to those modes as quickly as possible. Well, there was private right there. I was a little, yes, quick match or private. Awesome. So let's go ahead and go into, well, I don't want it on easy.
So at the top, you picked all your difficulty settings, and then your maps that you unlocked would show down below here. Oh, nice, Aramir. Grats. All the indirect, or all the maps would be down here. So it wasn't the big map display that we're used to now. It was all focused on selecting your difficulties, game type, etc., and then going into the maps.
Let's go normal is the highest it's letting me go. New map opened up. Oh, that's how it's navigating them around now. Now the overhead view of the map looks a little different. Random. Ooh, I wonder if you get a bonus for doing a random. I'll have to check all this stuff up.
You didn't.
So are they all public taverns now? I'm not really sure. They changed the way the tavern looked a little, which that actually surprised me. I didn't think that was coming.
Some things never change. Random defenses thrown down.
So yeah, I guess it's... for now, it looks like it's all social tavern. Get a queue out of there. Stubborn old man. What up, homie? Whoop.
And imagine
well.
that. error codes.
So there we go. We got our first failed match login.
Who'd have thought?
The main
huh?
thing I was concerned with was just getting to. I wonder if Ubers still cost a fortune.
Thanks there, Cam.
Oh,
For your first
I gotta
win, basically
complete
you want to
maps
use
unlock
walls
those
and
areas in
then
the tavern. Wow, it's really
some sort of damaging defense.
really jumpy. The lag spikes.
In C9 gear with full shards.
Is this guy still
And
offering up
ideally
quests?
some helpful mods. A little different version of the tavern.
If I loot a chest first.
And then there's those chests
didn't wanna make
again.
this
You got
video.
all your mana out.
See if we get another little mini boss in this one too.
And look at the difficulty scaling there. Where was that? Warbor. Let's see.
Walloped.
Level 1, he's got 4,900 health. So a little bit different. Like, I'm
See if
hitting
we get another
harder,
little mini boss in this one too. I'm sure we will. Second map.
but the enemies have a lot more health there.
They put one in the first map. You'd certainly think there'd be one in the second. See, just give a little assist here. And then start shooting them up. Anyway, I'm excited to get leveled up to level 50 is the cap now. And as I mentioned, there's going to be just a ton of DD2. This is probably going to end up being one of my primary games for the next
10
6
years
months or so. We'll see here. See how long I stay so excited.
Did you hear that? I just said this is going to be my next primary game for the next 6 months or so.
About it,
Lies.
but like I said, just a couple weeks before the wipe I was playing, I got into some of the endgame stuff and was having a lot of fun with it, and then the wipe got announced, so I kind of backed off of it. And you know, I know as well that people have been streaming and showing videos of the exact same maps over and over and over again for the last 6-8 months. So I don't want to show you all that stuff. I do want to get into
There's
all
that
this
upgrade
new exciting
interface
stuff,
again.
though.
I think that upgrade interface
Still
was
no
awesome.
more towers unlocked. I wonder if I have to train that or something, or is it going to unlock automatically? You'd think I'd pick
There's
it
no
up
best.
automatically.
It's based off of having gear
Anyway, like I
and
said, this
shards
is
and mods.
going to be
You can
one
make
of my
any
primary
hero
games
work.
on the channel over the next
Pick the hero you like
next
the
several
best and
months,
worry up. Focus on getting them decked out.
You know, obviously it's a tower defense.
All right, so that was the first look at the Loot and Survive update right as it hit. Now, one of the big things that the Loot and Survive update brought is passives on gear. Passives on gear are what we know as shards and mods today, but it was more like Dungeon Defenders 1, where it was a loot farming game. You'd farm and look for specific passives on the gear itself that you were farming.
Hello everyone, Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. Oh yeah. Now, there's been a lot of patches coming in.
I finally
Lots
figured out
of
how to get
new,
into a
stuff
private
added to the
tavern.
game here over the last week. And I have just been grinding it up.
I remember this. So the update hit, and as I just said, there was lots of stuff added in the last week. At this stage in the game, it was not unheard of to get 3 or 4 updates in a week. I mean, they would just fly. But additionally, at this stage of the game, PlayStation wasn't even out yet. Or it may have been out, but it was behind. One of the two. So, like PlayStation players, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't even out yet. But PlayStation players, Xbox didn't exist yet, of course. That didn't come until 2017. And then PlayStation players were like 6 months or so behind PC. But what that allowed them to do, similar to like what Warframe did and lots of other games did, is it allowed them to just spam updates out. So, I mean, you would get 2, 3, 4 updates just in a 1-week period because they were only going to PC, and that's it.
Up since the wipe.
I don't know what you're
I
referring
promised
to.
live streams
Or PC,
I'll
but
get 'em
not,
going
not
soon, I
many of this
promise.
stuff is possible to
this
get
weekend, in fact.
in the current state of the game.
You see, I've got the Squire is currently my most geared or best geared player, level 50. I got my monk at a level.
And at this stage, you had the 4-hero deck, but you still had to run back to the forge to swap heroes. You couldn't hot swap from one hero to the next. If you look down below, we got the armor pieces as we know it. Of course, the monk didn't have a shield slot, so it would just show that weapon that you have equipped in both slots. Then we got a head, a chest, boots, gloves, one relic per hero. So you had to have heroes for specific things. So if you wanted one hero, like say you wanted one hero that was focused on explosive traps, you'd have to have an entirely different huntress to focus on blaze balloons. So only one relic slot there.
Level 50 as well. Still getting my apprentice there. But today, the apprentice just became a hell of a lot more exciting, especially in combination with the monk and eventually the huntress, which you see I've got a ways to go on the huntress there yet. But that is the addition of the Frostfire.
Or no, it's the passives. So here we go. This is where shards came from. And this was the original of the Nightmare era. When it first started, this was the original OP. And that was, you know, the Frosty Power Shard now. There was 2 different passive items on mods. There was Frostfire, which you see this one here. It gives, it increases defense rate and defense speed. Now remember, at this stage in the game, there was no speed caps. You got diminishing returns the more and more defense rate, or they called it defense speed then, that you put in. There was no caps. So your goal was to stack as much of this stuff as you can. But we can take a look. Of course, this aspect of it went away because we get to the range cap now. None of that matters, Cam. Just play through. What pet you use, none of that stuff matters. There's tutorials on all that stuff available on my YouTube channel. I appreciate it, but I can't just go line by line on your questions here. All that stuff's readily available right on my YouTube channel. Pets don't matter. All right,
the passives added to various items.
So we got
you see here the
Frostfire
Frostfire weapon
on the
Frost
weapon.
Towers chill area buffs defense speed by 25% of defense power. That's pretty awesome.
This was so busted back then.
It makes auras tick like crazy.
And here's the reason it was busted. Frosty Power. So you had that, what was the other one called? Frostfire on the weapon, and then you had Frosty Power on the armor. And these, a perfect roll was 50%, but you could get that on every single armor piece. So you'd have 50% for your weapon, 50% for your armor, 50% for your chest, 50% for your boots, and they all stacked. Which means if you had perfect everything, you had a 250% Frosty Power Shard, which was just crazy in trap loadouts or R loadouts.
Defense power of defenses inside it. So not only are there some speed buffs, there's also some defense power buffs, and it just leads to just pure badassery. So let's go ahead and show it off in action. Of course, I haven't found the best gear yet, and I'm still gearing up myself. But I wanted to take a look at another addition to the game, and that is there was a bit of a tough transition in between hard mode and nightmare mode previously. The addition of insane mode was put in
within a week.
Hopefully remedy that problem.
You had to go from hard mode directly to nightmare, and people really struggled with it. It was too big of a gap. It was kind of like the comparison of like maybe breaking into Chaos 9 today or Chaos 8. You know, going from Chaos 7 to Chaos 8 when you've only got the 4 original characters. Imagine how difficult that would be today. You know, it'd definitely be a different experience. And they added in a mid-tier, which of course is from DD1, but that was insane mode.
Now, insane mode is, it's actually not as insane as you think. I did do one map. I did Life Root Forest, which is kind of becoming everyone's favorite grinder. just like, you know, the previous maps on previous versions of Dungeon Defenders. But Liferoot Forest is the place to go to get the gear.
You know, when Survival first
So let's
launched,
hop right on in and get it started.
and every
Now,
single person was on Gates of Dragonfall.
The Squire had some interesting
When this
additions
update
added
first
in
launched,
too, but I'm
every
kind of
single
cursed
person was on Life
with
Root
my
Forest.
Squire, unfortunately, in that he has just the worst luck with RNG. I mean, just bad. So my Squire
But
just
yeah,
is
this is the
not
original
getting the gear
Beast
quite
Mode
yet.
build here.
Let's see, let's set up with... I think I'm just going to do
Still got cannons in the mix,
3
though.
cannons and a little spike blockade. Let's do that on each spot here. I gotta find exactly where I want to go with these.
This is Quab's first death, I believe. The original death of Quab.
You have to be careful, not necessarily on this lane, but with that far lane, if you put the cannons up too far, the flyers are going to come in and take care of business, and that, of course, is not at all what we're shooting for here.
Is this going to turn into a Frosty Power build?
Find out exactly how many of what to optimize.
Oh, there we go. So
all
yeah,
the
you got the electric cars up front, and
let's
Frosty
start
Power is going to
with-
hit them.
One there,
Well,
one
look at the
there. I
range
know what I
by
forgot
default
was some
on that,
anti-air.
Frostbite
I don't
Tower.
want air to be an issue, and there are flyers on this map. Alright, 70 left. I can get my anti-air laid down.
Or here you go, Cam. I'll answer you with this. You want a pet with earth damage. Doesn't matter what pet it is. Any pet with earth damage. That's what you want. You can look at the pet videos on my channel to learn why.
And then I'll be good to go until the break. But I need to hop back on the monk here and get that anti-air in place. Right about there
Skyguards
seems
used
good.
to be used a lot more than...
You put the
than
anti-air
they
there
are
in the
now.
middle, and then it covers both of those lanes.
Going back to the deck to swap
Which is
heroes.
nice.
Oof. Or back to the forge.
Anything that makes it through the auras around this side gets hit, plus anything coming in through the front. Now you also have this nice environmental trap, the engine control on this one. It does indeed make a
That
huge
thing's still
difference because it
badass,
doesn't
that
do
engine
damage, it
control
just
is.
blows them off the side. So anything that it will blow off the side, it's guaranteed death. Let's see, oh, I missed 2 of them. It's also a fun little game to play to see if you can get the entire pack down, which you can do. You'll get 1 down first and think it's not really possible to get
Oh,
them
yeah.
the whole pack. Or not
PDTs,
1 down. You'll have 1 left.
We
Pardon me.
probably
The whole
won't make
pack
it
but
to the
1.
era of PDTs today.
But it actually
PDTs will be
gets much
soon,
easier.
though.
See, what do we got on this side?
They had their own...
We got war
their
boars,
own
man. They
entire
are such
genre.
a pain in the ass. Once you get through wave 1, nothing is really an issue. I'm gonna have to stay on this side to get these war boars down, as they will just tear things through all those cannons if I leave them unattended here.
It was a big quality of life thing, for sure, getting rid of the forge.
I want to keep
A
that
lot of
blockade
people
full.
said that they thought that it made the game too
Do
casual.
not want any war boar related incidents.
Which, since there's no,
Right,
there's
so we're
never
looking
been
pretty
any build
good. It's
timers.
holding up. The only thing that's questionable is that left side there. Yep, that was a waste. Waste of my super NATO.
Oh yeah, PDTs and Purge Evil.
Just try to slow them up as much as you can. Once you get things upped after just the first wave, these
look at
guys
the
are not
pack.
really an issue. It's just getting to that point.
Just getting mobbed. Notice no cleave damage either.
Big old flying ice
So I
cube.
got those cannons right
I
on
did
top
throw
of that
the,
wall. If you built like that
with the
today,
large
those would all get
sphere in.
destroyed.
For the freeze at the end of its channel, since the only thing I'm really using is those frost towers. So alright, we held up.
Pure awesomeness. And let's see, what do we have left? I've got 120 left. So that would be... I can do a little more damage here. So what I'm going to do is go with 2... And then with the Frosty Power... Let's see, we'll go with two Frostbites there. So by having 2 Frostbites down, you did even more. I think 2 is more than sufficient, to be honest. I was half tempted to go 3 there, but I think 2 is more than enough. I mean, Purge Evil and PDTs was just so powerful. It full cleared everything. For 2 on this side as well. And I got 30 left over. But everyone abusing Frosty Power, myself included, is the reason Frosty Power is what it is today. Hold up strong. It was so powerful back then. You know what? I'll throw one more aura in the middle. I'll make it a 5 stack there. I'm instead a little louder on this one. Let me turn it down a little. The customary 4 stack. There we go. A triple stack is what I used pre-wipe. But I just want to maximize. Still the same old boost aura in there. Oop, I can't get... It says I've got 30 left. There we go. Oh god, it's going to be just death for anything in the center. Of that, there is no doubt. This turned into trap spam. Of course, explosive traps now were super powerful then, just like they are today. First off is going to be now picture explosive traps that have I want to get the range multiple frostbite towers stacking 250% damage increase as long as possible. Once I get those guys upped, then I'm gonna I think I'll hit the auras. Or, you know, the cannons wouldn't hurt either. A little range on the cannons. The power scaled differently too. I've got enough. Especially on this lane. I've got enough to put some range on the cannons here. Let's see this next way. Look at 9-wave map. All the way across, I believe. Back before they standardized everything. I'm going to leave that barricade acting up on me. You know, it's not actually my mouse, it's my mouse pad. And, me complaining about my mouse pad? Real easy grinder with any sort of ranged. You can basically just park everything is just getting burned out now. Help out the sides whenever they need help. Definitely need to get the R's up. Once I get the R's up, I'm not going to have any issues with stuff pushing through on me like this. Now remember, when the guys do get up on your stuff here, skip up like to these guys. A wave 9. See what wave 9 was all about. The Squire. I'm not sure if it works with the bowling balls. It probably does, but just not as many of them come out. They did lower the attack rate or speed up the attack rate on those as well, where now it's just over 3 seconds unbuffed. I think that's what it was, which is still it's pretty slow. In addition to that, they had changed the amount of power you get. See that when you mob upgrade? That's Malthus healing back there. Of the basic DU cost. What I mean by that is like an explosive trap, which is 20 DU. Look at how fast they burn upgrade in those lightning auras with that frosty power. You know, say the cannons are 30 DU. The cannons actually went unchanged. The 30 DU defenses so crazy remained unchanged, but the 20s and the 40s did indeed change. Now, once I get just a little bit more defensive power, and I can handle this setup without the blockades, I'm pretty excited to see what would happen if I added the little explodey harpoons into the mix. I got rid of, I can remember, I actually got rid of the cannons and started using explosive traps. But like I mentioned, the explosions throughout the whole lane, friendly fire. And it just was so huge with Frosty Power. So if you're in a situation where you're going to have mobs pounding on your blockades, your harpoons will end up killing your blockades, which, you know,
all the
obviously
flyers are
that's
yellow on the
no
mini-map.
good. See, 481 left. I just want to let it fly with this one. You know what? Let's go ahead and
Just regular
up
wyverns.
another R or two. Why not? It's the last wave. Try to wrap this up quickly as soon as I get done with the map, as I know this has been a lengthy video, but like I said, I wanted to not fast forward through it, as I wanted to show everybody
I
just
fast
the pure
forwarded through
power
it. Sorry, y'all.
that these new apprentice passives add into the mix. See, we got Ogre coming on this side. See if they like my angle here. Yeah, that guy liked it. Had one go up. See how fast this Ogre gets burned. Is he going to get chewed up in my auras?
Let's see.
All right, he's going to get
Hey,
frozen.
it's getting
in him.
melted pretty good.
Or maybe
The
not. Maybe
loot.
the Ogre is immune
Now
to
it's
the freeze.
no longer a game of loot farming. It's a game of
he's
farming
getting
crafting
wrecked.
materials. So the thing I miss is the loot.
No good loot.
It's the thing that kept me playing, or had me play this game so
Like I said,
much.
I need.
Is you see,
oh,
like,
that's
that
actually
piece
a
right
decent,
there. You know, Radiance. Of course, you had, you know, armor that would have defense passives on it, and you see, we've got defense power and defense crit damage on a helmet. I miss the loot itemization and it being a game of farming loot, where this purple item on the ground here in the current game, I would never even look at. It would just automatically get sold no matter what. It just doesn't matter. So for me, 100% all about the loot, and then grinding and looking for these passive rolls. Like Channel ended up becoming a shard. Radiance was basically a deadly strikes for auras only. But like in this situation, if you threw this on a monk, you would get 14% increased aura radius, and then you'd gain 10 ability mana every 5 seconds. But plus you had defense power and defense crit damage on it, and crit damage worked much, much differently than it does now.
Headpiece for my
So that would be the thing
for
I
my
miss.
monk. I'll definitely throw that.
What up,
That'll be
Millsy?
a bit of an upgrade
Scout,
for
how
him.
you doing?
I need chest pieces. Need the
We're up
chests.
to
Where are you
2015
at?
here now.
Oh, divine breastplates.
For those just joining.
Can't speak tonight. It is what, 4 a.m. now, I think. My time.
Me up to
As
4
I'm
a.m.
recording,
playing
so,
Dungeon Defenders 2. Jesus.
I read the patch notes for this one while I was at work and was real excited to get home. Another thing that's got me fired up is Orcs Must Die just came to the Shield tablet. Oh no! Another excuse to play OMD. So anyway, that's going
Let's
to do
see,
it for
did we
this
have
episode, and there is a look
Yeah, there's still there's a victory
at
chest
some of the new
there.
passives for the Apprentice, and they are
Oh,
hot.
boo.
Just make your
Green
auras
victory
just
chest for the
ridiculous.
loss. This was before.
So thank you again for watching. Click that like button. Please subscribe to this.
That was before having guaranteed legendary chests too for playing in a group. That was something that got added in later. Okay, now here is the hardest version of that map. I'll spot through this one quickly, but this ended up being kind of like crazy OP builds. This is let's see, what did I start with here? This was a live stream VOD. It looks like.
By the ogre stomp. That would be
So we
really
went with
awesome
we got
if,
rid of the cannons. We went with that those frosty power
I don't
setups. Now by this
distrust the toxic
time
caterpillar.
I was dialed in,
Not
and
at
I
all.
probably was close to that
But my God, why the hell would
250%
this
frosty
be easier?
power.
Makes no sense. But whatever.
Let's skip through and see what the build itself looks like. It looks like I'm still focused on, or no, I got traps in there. We got explosive traps and the original lightning strike auras.
Now remember, this is my first time doing this, so
It's like my audio levels were
that's my
pretty
excuse
screwed
right
on
there.
this live stream.
If I fail with 3 mobs
The game
left.
volume is so much louder than my voice. If you look at the mini map right here, That was basically the build. You had a wall, a couple of frosty power or frostbite towers with frosty power on them, and then a string of auras and traps. Thanks for following there, Bro Cliff. Appreciate it. A string of auras and traps going all the way up the lanes. Once again, Quab has met his demise. Poor Quab.
Use 2 blockades, huh?
But yeah, explosive trap,
I'm
explosive
using
trap.
1 blockade per lane on almost every map. There's a few maps where I used to, but
Just chained explosive traps all the way down. And you
it's
see here,
actually
it's 5-wave
pretty
mapping
easy.
now
They
again.
stick
So this
to
is
the
where the
line
5
pretty
waves
closely.
came.
Now every once in a while I'll have one.
And then
you know,
you
go around
also notice
blockade.
right here, like back then your walls could take a little bit of abuse. So you could get a bunch of mobs bunched up on a wall before it got destroyed. So you would stack a bunch of power at the wall. So I have like 3 explosive traps here with 3 frosty powers. And remember, at the time, these stacked. So it was 250%, 250%, 250%. So if there was 3 mobs here, and all 3 of these were hitting each of the 3 mobs, these traps would have a 750% damage increase. And that's what made this kind of setup so powerful.
In wave 9 or whatever, and just ruin my day. And
This
that's,
was before
you know,
explosive
obviously
poison,
always
of
a little
course.
upsetting. Well, let's see. I need to get our Frosty back up. So those flyers, the dive bombers took those down.
My
So I
first
definitely
Cobalt
need to get my air
experience.
defense buffed pretty quickly. See, I'm going to put this one behind.
How many explosive? That's 3, 4, 5, 6. That's like 7 explosive traps in that lane.
Let's see, he needs some love. All right, so we got a boss.
Some of these concepts still exist in the game. Like,
See how much it's
using
gonna
explosive
give me.
traps with fully boosted with frosty power and everything is still very much a thing.
Oh,
Particularly
that's
for
just
late onslaught.
cheating. Dang. I'm gonna go ahead and get this air defense popped up twice here. Is that, I don't know, that may be a little overkill, but seems like the thing that ruined my day there the most was the flyers. So
So
wanna
many
make sure we're
explodey
squared away.
traps.
I'm not
Holy
even too
crap.
concerned about upping these if their health, the boss health, is gonna be that low. Yeah, I've got 400 left. I guess I might as well, huh? I'm just going to start from the outside in. Another 200. Guess I better do this one since this is the lane he's coming in. 277 baddies incoming.
At the time, that was a lot of enemies.
To, be a little more
Of course,
vigilant
that's
with
nothing
those
compared to
flyers, I think.
DD1 and nothing compared to how many enemies we get on some lanes today.
So you snooze, you lose. Boy, I snoozed. Yeah, these guys don't want to go up in the air. Holy shit, 15,000 health? That's just not right.
15,000 health.
Good lord.
And Sammy got owned.
Oh, that's cheating. 846 item power. Oh, that just is cheating. What the hell am I doing?
Like I said, it was all about the
I
loot back
absolutely
then.
love it. But I know there's going to have to be some sort of a stop to that. That's just ridiculous. You know, I did see something. There was a forum post that said life.
No, there was shards weren't a thing yet. Onslaught, the original Onslaught was here,
About this.
not the mess that we have today with
Yeah,
the
I wanna see
endless
some
mode,
too.
original endless mode. We're gonna get to that here Probably next, maybe.
but not like.
There was no
I
shards
mean,
yet.
once I get those explosive traps buffed up,
Hyper shards are very
it's
new
gonna be
compared
all
to this
over.
video,
I mean, AFKable.
even though they've been out for several years.
Baddies digging holes in the ground.
This is at the 9-year ago mark here, where hyper shards are like in the last, I want to say 4 years.
Trendy really is going to be a
No,
presence
more than
somewhere,
that. Maybe
but
6
I
years.
really wanted to say hello to I am East
I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get to it.
Today's his birthday, I believe. I want to understand or everything yesterday was.
God, I can't hear myself at all. All I hear is the game volume.
Blockade getting low. Right, and a bugged bird, a buggy bird. Let's see, hopefully he's not somewhere. where I
And
can't
bugged
shoot him.
enemy.
Oh no, he's right there.
Imagine that. Once again.
Kamikaze bird flies into a tree.
All right, let's bounce forward. Look at the final
This is
wave here.
Partial gear wipe or
Here we go.
something. Who knows? They definitely need to change the difficulty on this map because this is a joke so far. Just terrible. I almost feel guilty doing it. Now I'm going to continue to do it 437 times as soon as the stream ends.
So much power.
I think the Huntress passives are supposed to come next weekend, aren't they? I believe so. I'm gonna miss it right out of the first day. I won't be home. Well, I'll be gone for a week, so I'll actually get home Tuesday night.
You're
really late
Sturgis.
Tuesday night. A week from today. Fat loots. Man.
Oh, and those birds look
Ridiculous.
green.
All right, so once I get this video,
Maybe not. Maybe
over
it's
to
just mixed
YouTube,
in.
Everyone, stop what you're doing and grind Nightmare 4 Life Root Incursion.
Yeah, this is Nightmare
must.
4. There was Onslaught.
Yeah, they'll have to do an item wipe, I bet. I mean, they couldn't have intended for.
They did end up doing another
hot
wipe.
patch or hot fix this one. I mean, you look at the other incursions; they're completely out of balance. Like the first incursion you go into, when you're still
The next wipe was actually
low level,
named
your
Wipe
very
Again.
First incursion that you get into is, or not low level, but in garbage gear. It's insanely hard. It's like impossible practically. At when you're at that stage where you're going to enter your first incursion of this anyway.
It's before we had the option to turn off screen shake too. That's why you see the screen jumbling all around.
See what?
Now, of course, we've got that option to turn it off.
Item power 800 something or another. Got the fat epics. Oh yeah.
Excited about epic chests. Oh, it was a different day and age back then, y'all.
Flash pretty quick.
That is for certain. All right, so why don't we get another giveaway going? Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's do this one instead. Well, the original Grumpy wasn't from Wipe Again. The original Grumpy was from the Defense Council. The Wipe Again Grumpy ended up coming later. All right, so we started the last one on Twitch. So why don't we start this one on YouTube, and why don't we make this one for 100 gems? Let's see. Let me refresh this one. This one's going to start on YouTube, and then we'll do another giveaway on Twitch right afterwards. But give me that hashtag 10 years in YouTube chat, y'all. Hashtag 10 years in YouTube chat. All one word. And this one will be for 100 gems. The big fat 100 gems. Oh, yeah. We got a 252, but we're going to give that one away probably tomorrow or later today. But nothing wrong with a free 100 gems. Nothing wrong with 100 gems at all. Give you guys a minute or two to get those in. Graphics were so different. You know, the biggest thing I noticed looking back at these old videos, or one thing that just really jumped out at me, was the loading times. Like, you could load into a map, and it would be like a few seconds. Thanks for following there, Maddie. Like, I mean, 4 seconds, 5 seconds or whatever, and you were loaded in. And that, you know, that is just, you know, that was recently improved on, of course. What, like last year? Or was it earlier this year? But, I mean, it was to a point where it was like, for me, it was like 90 seconds to 2 minutes to get into a map. And I live relatively close to the US West server. So it wasn't so much a major ping issue. Now, before we draw a winner on YouTube, I got to say this every time, but remember, the ball is in your court. To claim your 100 gems, you're going to have to send me a message on Twitch, Twitter, or Discord to claim your prize. Because if not, I have no way of giving it to you. I can't just type it in chat. Somebody else will yoink it. And since YouTube does not have a private messaging system, I can't send that to you. So you're going to have to contact me on Twitch, Twitter, or Discord if you win. I'll give you guys like another 10 seconds or so to get your hashtag 10 years in chat. And once again, this one is going to be for 100 gems. 100 gems. Not yet there, Bro Cliff. We'll do one on Twitch here in a minute. This one's on YouTube. I'm on YouTube and Twitch right now streaming. So I can only do one platform at a time, though. All right, so here we go. The winner is Famous DXNG. Famous DXNG, congrats. Send me a message on Twitch, Twitter, or Discord to claim your 100 gems. But congrats to you. Let me go ahead and swap the bot over to Twitch now. And we will do a giveaway here on the Twitches. So give me a hashtag 10 years in Twitch chat. Cake, what's up, man? Hashtag 10 years in Twitch chat. This is going to be for 100 gems. Good luck to everyone. Famous, let me know where you're going to send me a message. That way I can verify that it is you. But Twitch, Twitter, or Discord, send me that message. And on Twitch, of course, it makes it a lot easier. I can just click on the winner's name and DM it right to them as long as they don't have their whispers blocked. But YouTube has not gotten with the times in that regard. Oh no, you clicked salvage all. Valuable lesson learned, Cake. Valuable lesson learned. All that stuff goes away when you do that. Oof. Show did that too. That's how I learned. Show did it and it's like, don't do this. On Twitter. Alrighty, I am logged into my Twitter now. Let's see. I don't see a message from you. The link is in my Twitter link should be in the description below the video. If that will help you out. But yeah, just send me a message on Twitter. I'll get you fixed up. SciTech with the gift subs. Holy crap, man. Thank you so much, SciTech.
I do appreciate it. All right, so here we go. Good luck, everybody on the Twitches. We'll let these SciTech gift subs. You sent 2 DMs saying hello. I see you. All right, so I'm gonna send you your 100 gem code. There, DX. Just redeem that at the mailbox in game. It should be there right now, though. That code I just sent you. You can just redeem at the mailbox, and that will give you 100 gems. Congrats. Congrats. All right, we got any more entries on the Twitches here? Looks like they have slowed down quite a bit. Yep. The gift subs are still rolling. Let me let all these dings and dongs. I think it's probably all of them. Nope, not yet. Thank you so much, SciTech. I do appreciate it. If you're just showing up, give me a hashtag 10 years in Twitch chat for your chance to win 100 gems. Rama Lama Ding Dong, indeed. Indeed. All right, looks like we don't have any more messages. Thanks there, Cake. Mini Ghoster, what up, what up? Appreciate it, y'all. So it looks like Mini Ghoster is the last entry. So the winner is that person, which I can't pronounce their name because I don't understand what those letters are. So type something in chat. That way I see that it's you, and I will get you your 100 gems. Oh, Vorbit, there we go. Oh no, it's all good. We don't all know all the languages, so it is all good. But there you go. I just sent it to you. So redeem that at the mailbox in game. Oh, it's Orbit. Okay, not Vorbit, Orbit. But congrats to you. Congrats to you. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's see, where were we? We were on a Nightmare for Life Root Forest. Now, somebody had mentioned Onslaught earlier. So let's head over to Onslaught mode.
Oops, did I forget to upgrade anything?
I think this was a live stream
last
VOD.
time around.
So here we go. Onslaught mode was the original endless mode in Dungeon Defenders 2. And how it worked is each floor that you had was 3 different waves to complete that particular floor. And there was a special reward depending on what you chose at the very beginning. So, like when you loaded into an Onslaught map, oh my God, Pepper going ape shit. There must be deer in the front yard. When you loaded into an Onslaught map, there would be a pop-up on the screen, and it would say, do you want gold? Do you want armor? Do you want weapons? Or do you want a pet egg? And of course, the thing to pick was the pet egg, and that is where golden pets came from. So here we are explaining that. This is, well, you see, this was a live stream VOD. It was called Live Golden Egg Onslaught Farm, the money shot version, which I'm not really sure what that meant.
Now add me on Steam. Juice bags. Send me a Steam invite.
See
I've
the
got
loot.
Something for you.
All the loot.
And here we are. We're back. We're still doing that Frosty Power build, but we ditched the auras altogether and just stacked more explosive traps. So we got explosive traps for days here.
Supersonic Tyrant. That's awesome. Did you send me a Steam invite yet?
And there was a lockbox on the ground, too. That was another form of their monetization back in the day. You would get these lockboxes, and you had to have keys to open the lockbox, similar to like
Maybe that was
what
the problem.
CS:GO or whatever does today. Or I'm sure like
15.
TF2 did it too. I think
You get there a lot earlier on some of the other maps. I normally do Nightmare.
Looks like
1
survival
every-
nowadays.
when I
It
do
actually
this
is the
because
original.
You get a little.
Or when
little bit higher
Onslaught was
quality
remade, it
gear,
was 3 map floors.
and then of course that in turn makes it.
And that's
So you
where
make a little bit
they
more
first
coin out of it.
used that exact little interface
Alright,
template
There you go. Hypersonic Tyrant.
from this Onslaught to the remade Onslaught.
I just happen to have several of those. Dungeon
Proactive
Defenders
traps is actually really
collector,
bad.
Gift items.
You're not going to want to use it.
in my inventory that were sitting.
It resets
thought
whenever you upgrade it,
that
so
I
you lose
had-
all your
I
stacks.
thought that I had one.
I think
So just
everybody's got one
because
sitting in their
you've
vault
been,
now because nobody ever
coming
uses
to
it.
all these DD2 late night streams, I'm gonna go ahead and send you one here.
It looks like everything is just insta dying.
See,
It's
what
because
was
I'm
it?
using that Frosty Power explosive
Hypersonic
trap setup.
Tyrant.
You see them, the enemies are just wrecking. I'm like full on AFK here. But this was where golden pets originally came from. And this is how you
All
got
right,
them.
there you go, man.
So this was an
You are
endless
the
mode, but it wasn't worth
Proud
playing
new
past
owner
wave
of the Dungeon
30.
Defenders collection.
Or maybe it was way past wave 25. How
I'm
it worked was you completed wave 15 and you were awarded whatever it was that you chose at the beginning. In this situation, it was a golden egg, and then you were awarded another one at wave 25. But how the loot worked is the loot would scale up as you were completing it as well, but it capped out, and if you went further, you got no benefit really from going
70%
further.
Full on inventory.
Of course, you had the ability to leave it run with a macro. Now, this was before macros
Anyway, you can
being
get it
allowed,
downloading right now. It's
so no one talked about
it
those
is, I
things.
mean, it's
Now
where
they
this game
allow
came from, and it's
a
an
macro
awesome
to
game
G
of
up.
that. There is no doubt at all. And there's a community development team now of players that are developing new content for it. I have yet to check it out. I mentioned it in my stream last week, but their first
That's when the
addition to
community
game so
development
far
team
has
started
been
for DD1, apparently.
traps that actually work where you can build as a jester, which
Or not where they
is pretty
started,
awesome,
but
because,
where
yeah, I
they
mean,
became
Jester
very
was always-
impactful.
it was always my favorite DPS class, but it wasn't a builder at all. And they made those presents, so it's
Now that half the community
a little
development
bit more
team
usable
works
now.
for Chromatic. There's one
Yeah,
member
Mr.
of
Fishy,
it
no
that's the
problem. See,
lead
I
for
recognize your
DD1,
name
and
from
then
last
like
week.
Aiden, IDHC.
I'm gonna do
for
a giveaway on the
DD2,
channel here to
he started
clear out
as
my
the
Steam
community development
inventory,
team.
definitely before the Steam holiday sale
As a
comes,
player,
because I always end up loading up on a bunch of stuff and then practically never.
All right,
even
it looks
playing
like
half
the
of it.
boost aura changed here to the boost aura form that we know. So this must have been
So I
right
got-
around where that changed.
Just a
Either that or I was
ton.
using the Serenity Aura, which actually I think I was just using it as a Serenity Aura.
ton of
The Serenity Aura was an aura that was like a healing aura, but there was one of the
that stuff starting
passives
to build up in the old inventory.
on
Alright,
that
so this
purge
should be
on a
it.
weapon called
At the end
Purge
of this
Evil, which
wave,
is the current
I should get myself a
boost
golden egg.
aura explosive.
Yeah, I know.
Is that a
man. I
shard
know
or a
you've been
mod?
loyal,
I think it's a shard,
and I appreciate it. Always coming.
but
by
it
the
was
streams and
extremely
stuff.
powerful
That's
back
awesome.
then. It was actually extremely powerful.
Yeah, I
very
focus
recently,
mainly on
but
the YouTube channel. I've been streaming more
Recently got nerfed pretty hard.
lately, and I'm gonna start now that YouTube is making its streaming a little bit more friendly. I'm gonna start streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was doing, using Purge Evil.
Right now,
It was
other
so
than just
powerful. You
getting
did
my
not
name
use
out,
it.
And my goal, of course, is to build the YouTube channel. And eventually, absolutely love to be to the point where I could do this full time. But I'm so far away from that now. So really, I stream on Twitch. Just
Oh, give us the golden
really,
egg.
to be honest with you, just in hopes of picking up some new subscribers on YouTube. I don't anticipate I'll ever be a Twitch partner.
And I'm
The
still not.
requirements are high.
But now it's a joke.
But it is, Twitch is obviously the easiest, most convenient source.
You don't have to be a Twitch partner anymore.
By far.
Back then, you had to.
Oh, he's actually getting a little damage done to my blockade there. As long as I don't get a blockade walker going over it, I won't have a problem completing this. There's one down. I think that's the first
The
legendary.
double
that dropped during this
ogre. Oh,
round.
man.
That's pathetic. Well, I mean, ideally, I'd love to do both, but like right now, I'm a YouTube partner. Now that doesn't mean I make any money because I make very, very little. I do make some money, but it's practically nothing. It's nowhere, not even a
Some
small
things never
percentage of what I
change.
spend every month.
All right, and here we go. There is our pet egg. So this is where the original origin of golden pets, and it was map specific, which I think I got a video talking about that. And it's actually farther down. There was very limited number of maps that you could play this game mode on, and what type of pet dropped was specific to that particular map. But that was the origin of the golden pet. Was from the original Onslaught mode, Wave 15 and Wave 25 if you chose pet as your reward. Now also you've got like a lot of the weapons, like that shield, the Squire shield. I don't remember what the shield is called, but that shield that has like the dragon's face or the Draken's face on the front of it. If you chose weapon, that was one of the things in the drop pool for Onslaught, as those items were all special and specific to Onslaught as well. But yeah, there is the original golden pet. Let's bounce on up to this one. We just
What's
this is
going
only
on,
3-minute
everyone?
video.
G-Specs here, and
This is the
welcome back
first
to a little
monthly
DD2.
mission.
Sorry, there hasn't been a whole lot of content going on the channel.
And here it was. Like, a lot of people talk about how they want monthly missions back. This is what they were. They were, in a lot of aspects, a complete joke. Like this one. Win without losing a sub-objective. That's just one map. One map without losing a sub-objective. Earn 50 Wyvern tokens. Wyvern tokens back then are basically what Defender medals are now. Defender medals didn't exist back then, and they were called Wyvern tokens. And then find 40 turkey legs. Like right now, I mean, how many of you all just watching stream right now have hundreds of pet boxes that you have yet to go through and open? Pet food boxes. Well, completing that portion of a monthly quest was kind of a joke too. So in a lot of regards, this took way less than doing the current weekly missions. And the difference is there was unique rewards. So, like, this is where, like, the original Dragolich, the Bear Kira, all of the Defender Metal pets, basically, except Betsy. Originally, there was only one pet that you could buy with Wyvern tokens, and that was the Itsy Betsy pet. And all of those other pets that are available now were all tied to a monthly mission. So, if you didn't do this monthly mission, you missed out on that pet, and there was no trading in the game yet. So, there was no way for you to get it. That, of course, pissed a ton of people off. And that's one of the reasons there's the shop there now that has that going. Oh, man, I lost my YouTube chat. What the heck? Let me reload. I feel you're going to have to call me Aramir. I ran out of memory. Google Chrome eats up so much memory, and I got a lot of windows open right now. All right, looks like I got it back. YouTube chat is back. Sorry, Aramir. Low blow, I know. Aramir playing Diablo 4, it's got terrible memory leaks. It makes him crash all the time. But yeah, that was the first ever monthly mission for
This
Narwagon.
week, as I've been sick,
You got 40 Wyvern
sick.
tokens for that one.
I had a bit of the flu that's out there. However, I am
Diablo
very
Chrome.
curious to see how that shield works out. I'm going to use this pet on my Squire tank, I believe, as I think that shield will fit right in nicely. Either that or on my monk tank. I'm not certain.
So many of the
Gonna
pets
use
that
it
are
on
in the
one of the
game now
two.
weren't here yet then.
See how that damage reflect works out.
The damage reflect is
But
actually
still gotta
really
get it
good on
leveled up to check it
Narwagon,
all
but
out,
it's just
and,
not,
still got a hatchet, of course.
you know, you miss
Now,
out
since
by...
it is the monthly quest reward, it's going to be guaranteed legendary, so that's kind of nice.
That was the only way to get a
And you
guaranteed
just
legendary
find it
pet,
there
too.
in your egg inventory. The Narwagon egg, unrottable. And the only option, of course, is legendary.
There it was. The old
Very nice, and
Narwagon.
there we go.
I think I ended up
course,
selling
I'm,
that
gonna
for
have
like
to
50
reroll the
million
stats,
gold,
which,
and it's probably worth like
you know, everyone has kind
hundreds
of
of
come to
million
expect.
now.
The damage
The
output
Defender
on it
Medal
looks,
one is different.
kind of nice too. It's
But yeah, that is
What's that?
the
It's supposed to
very
have a
first
AoE.
monthly mission in Dungeon Defenders 2. Now, here we go. This one is long. We're going to have to skip through it. I'm not going to have you all watch a 41-minute video, but this is my first ever actual DD2 guide. I don't even know what the
Well,
date was on
since
it.
they're making a left-hand turn.
November
gonna hug the
29th,
wall to the left.
2015.
Now the
And this
same
was like, I was getting a lot of requests to make like a walkthrough, like a step-by-step walkthrough on how to beat a map. And this is my very first ever one.
strategy to solo Nightmare 4, and we're gonna go ahead and do that today. In my opinion anyway, the easiest Nightmare 4 map is Life Route. I think a lot of people would agree with
Still
me.
Life Route Forest,
And really,
though.
you can skip all of the lesser maps and go right into Life Route after you've geared yourself up with some Nightmare 3
One of
gear.
the deals, too, is
Now, I, of
the
course,
gear
have geared a little
quality
bit
was
past
tied
that,
to the
but remember
level,
first time I
or the
did
map you
Nightmare
were
4
playing.
was
And
in
Life
Nightmare
Route was
3
in the
gear.
highest bracket,
And you'll work into it
where
slowly.
you get the highest
I
potential
actually
quality
got lucky
gear.
and was able to finish it probably like within
Which,
my,
if I remember
my
correctly, it was
first
item power
maybe
700. We see I'm at
5
item
or 6
power
attempts.
705 now.
I completed the map. Now I'm going to be bringing along.
That's because I upgraded
two
some
huntresses-
pieces. Like the
huntresses.
highest
One,
item power
is my
piece you could get
traptress.
by
I'll start with
default
her.
was item power 700.
Now my stats are. Like
And
I
then
said,
here we
they're
go.
way-
Here's another look at, this is the second rendition of having like an RPG progression with your hero points. So they capped out at 200, you see. And, you know, well, like range and rate were lower. See, those were probably 20. I'm not sure. I don't really remember, to be honest. Probably similar to they are now. But you could put up to those 200 points into something. Well, the 200 points were hard to come by. So with that in mind, you couldn't max everything out like you could now. You had to have different heroes for different things. So like this is a traptress. So a huntress that specifically builds explosive traps and blaze balloons. It was probably actually specifically explosive traps. But we see here, I've got the power level maxed out. So I've got all 200 points into power. And then I maxed out range and rate. So very similar to what you would do today. Don't have anything into crit, which if I could have had more points, that's where I would have went next, is into crit there. For some reason, I put 30 points into defense health, probably because I was having a hard time dying. Anyway, let's look at this first ever DD2 tutorial here.
Now, I of course am geared a little bit past that, but remember the first time I did Nightmare 4 was in Nightmare 3 gear, and you'll work into it slowly. I actually got lucky and was able to finish it probably like within my first maybe 5 or 6 attempts. I completed the map. Now
That's changed now too. Before, when you were breaking into a new tier, it wasn't you win or you lose.
I'll start with her.
It was you had to earn your way up.
Now,
So
my
like you would
stats
complete
are,
2 waves,
like I
get
said,
one
they're
piece of
way
gear that was an
higher
upgrade,
than necessary
equip that
to
gear,
do, to solo there,
and
therefore,
go back
it
in,
actually
and
is starting
then
to become very easy for
you'd
me
get
now.
stronger and stronger
But
each time.
basically, I dumped everything in my Traptress into defense power. I've got
Well, you know that was because of
4,044,
that
a
explosive
few
poison there,
items that
Precious.
you really want to have.
I don't think we'll get to that era
I
today,
did max
but
out my defense
actually I
speed
know we
and the
won't.
range as well.
But yeah, explosive
I
poison
threw the
had its
leftovers into
own.
tower health just for a
It
little
had
additional.
the era
Anyway, a
of
few
the
things that
PDT.
you want to have on your Traptress. Now, to start off, you want a bow with tripwire.
Here's
Now,
those
tripwire will go
passives
up.
again. And once again, this is the biggest thing I personally miss from the game. Now, at this stage, you see we went down to the current system where you only have 2 stats on an item. But you would have a builder that you set up as a builder. And like you see, this one is a builder, so I have defense power on it, on a bow. So that's something we don't have today. And then we have these passives. So tripwire, explosive trap damage increased by 7%, defense crit chance, and then it looks like maybe we are creeping into the era of the poison dart tower because I did put Envenom, or I have Envenom on it as well.
10%, I believe.
Well, Petrify
Sadly, as you
wasn't there
see,
yet.
My tripwire bow is 7%. Still not even fully upgraded. and I'm
Petrify is
not
pretty
actively
new
looking for a replacement.
compared to this video.
But currently, this is the best bow I've found so far, so that's what I'm sticking with.
And then that
Ideally,
Falcon
you want
shot
a,
was
bow
such a
with
glorious thing.
10% tripwire on it.
Something that was completely busted is why it is how it is now. But if you got a bow with that charged shot, and remember, you know, the charged shot shard that we have today, that originally didn't have a cooldown on it. So like in this situation, the Falcon shot shoots 4 per second and it's got 9 projectiles. So that's 36 projectiles per second. That charged shot would machine gun fire. It would just be pop, 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 going like crazy. And that was one of the things, one of the reasons it got nerfed is it was so powerful.
And defense power, of course.
But yeah, this is the explosive
as a
trap
bonus
setup
there,
here, I
got
believe.
Defense crit chance plus 3%,
And
which always
even
helps.
a blue piece of
And having
gear,
defense
because it
crit
had a
on
good
any
passive on it,
items,
is what I'm
defense crit
using,
chance, that is
because it
gonna
was
help
all
out
about the gear and all
hugely.
about those passive rolls. So if you had
Now
a
we'll
blue
move right
piece,
along,
or here we got
to
3
your
pieces,
helmet.
or
You
3
want something
stats.
with volatile schematics on it.
Once
where the
again, it's a
trap effect
builder, so I
radius is
went with
increased.
power.
This one is not special.
And then here we got volatile schematics, which is basically, once again, it's deadly strikes, but it's deadly strikes for traps only. So increases that effect radius.
Spectacular, but same thing. It's the best one I've found so far. And it increases my trap radius by 9% and has defense power.
This is a
and
good look at
defense
the
crit
gear here on
damage.
this video.
The chest and the
Oh,
boots.
there
you
was
can
another
pretty
poison
much
shard.
Go with just about anything you want. On the gloves, that thing longer is very helpful.
There's
with,
another,
increased defense interaction range.
that's the trap
As you
targeting
see, my gloves
range.
are currently my weakest piece right now. Then on to your relic, and your relic, you got a lot of room to play with. Defense power. I've got one with defense health on it just to add a little additional for my traps, so I don't have to repair them. But you can go with defense crit damage as well, and that's going to be equally as helpful. The passives, you know, I have no passives on this relic that really helps out with the damage setup that I use. And then for a pet, I'm bringing along the Serpentagon, but any pet will work with defense power and defense crit damage. Now let's move on to my apprentice.
Here's the Frosty Power setup.
Basically, you're just looking for Frosty. You want Frosty or Frost Fire, ideally, on the Chilling Touch if you have that for a weapon. And then you want Frosty Power on every...
Then, like this Chilling Touch weapon, that is that one of the Onslaught rewards now, or is that an Ancient Power reward? I don't remember. But before, you used to only get this weapon on Life-Root Forest.
single one of your other pieces.
And then you see the damage amounts are different, where before, when we went through the Frosty Power stuff before, it went up to 50%. Now it caps at 10%. because they realized it was way too powerful. But at this point in the game, I think it did still stack. So, yeah.
Now, the maximum frosty power you can get is 10%. As you see, I am not maxed on all of them. I do have 10% on a few of them. And then on the weapon, the Frost Fire, which makes that Frostbite Tower chill, increase your defense speed of defenses in the area. Now, on this amulet, ideally you want to get Frosty Power on it. This particular one I found at 10%, which was kind of nice. And ideally you want defense. Well, actually, the defense crit.
Well, there's a new game in the works. We don't know it's the Dungeon Defenders game yet, though. They haven't announced it.
For that
the studio is working on something new, but we don't know what it is yet.
Defense Power, Defense Health Pet. Defense Crit is not really going to help you out here in the Frosty build.
It might not even be a Dungeon Defenders game. It could be something entirely different.
And,
we have no idea.
You know, helps give those towers a little bit more meat. Next off, we've got our Squire. Now, I'm going to be doing some builds here coming up real soon with how to use the Squire in a damage aspect with cannons and ballistas. But for the most part, every single build is going to require a wall Squire. Now, the wall Squires, you're going to have a couple of different things.
Hardy
all of your items,
Blockade.
including your shield, just not your weapon. You're going to be looking for Hardy Blockade. Now, Hardy Blockade is 5% of your hero health.
See, that was interesting too. Like, this is a Squire that's specifically set for building walls, so you stack hero health as much as you can. And then with that Hardy Blockade, you got a percentage of your hero health was added to your Spike Blockade's health. That was a very cool thing for sure.
Which really makes the spec. It's what gives you your walls what they are. Then you want to stack everything into hero health and defense health as you get it. Ideally, you have a piece that has both defense health and hero health. You see, this is currently my weakest piece at only 3% hardy. The main thing, all you're really concerned about here is your wall health. Now, I started
Let's
doing
see what the how fat was my wall. 297,000, and that was considered a ridiculous wall at the time.
In fantastic shape there. And then your
oh,
pet,
how
you're
times
gonna
change.
So that it has defense health and hero health on it, and that's going to help stack that frosty, or pardon me, stack the hardy barricades right on up to
At
the
this
roof.
stage in the game, you didn't get more value. You didn't have the empowerment stats that got up to what they get today. That's a relatively new addition too.
Whatever you want. One thing to note with this build, though, is we have no monk, so we don't have a Serenity Aura. So
still not to the point where we have a hero deck yet, it looks like.
Not the best idea. You definitely want to go with some ranged DPS.
So Nightmare 4 Life-Root Forest.
And take a look at what we
What was the item powers on this?
Along a Huntress, you can bring along an Apprentice.
Let me see that.
Whatever you want. One thing to note with this build, though, is we have no monk, so we don't have a Serenity Aura. So bringing along a tank is probably not the best idea. You definitely...
All right, so here, if we look, which one of these is Life-Root?
want to go with some ranged DPS.
Oh, there we go. All right, so Life-Root, you see, was item power 900. The deal with that was the highest gear would go to is item power 700, which mean if you were on an item power 900 map, you would have a greater chance of getting item power 700 gear. And that's one of the reasons that Life-Root was such a go-to map back in the day.
Alright, so we got the worst possible setup. The worst possible setup would be we've got physical damage.
Here's the other thing. This is kind of where they got the idea for Onslaught mode. Every map that you loaded into, no matter what it was, enemies would either have physical resistance or they'd have magic resistance. And it was different every single time. So you had to build accordingly and make sure that you had, you know, defense, because you see the physical resistance is 75%. So if you built a physical there, you would just, you know, all of your damage would be resisted and you would just not do any damage. So this is where the idea of multipliers or the various modifiers came from for the current Onslaught mode. This is like the original rendition. And then at the top of the lane billboards, you would see this icon represented physical resistance. So that is how you just quickly would look through and see physical or magic resistance.
Resist. And
there's a magic
damage
resist lane
in the center. Ideally, you want physical and the neutral, or both magic resist for the ultimate setup.
So since we're combining those two lanes together, we're going to have to do physical damage and we're going to have to do magic damage. And I don't remember exactly what I do. I'm assuming I swapped the skill spheres, but let's see. Using Bear Kira as my active pet.
So we got magic resist here, magic resist, physical resist, and then the neutral lane. Now, remember, flyers are always neutral. You're not going to have a resist on them, so you don't have to worry about it. And whichever range DPS class you bring along, your main role is going to be to kill flyers and repair walls. So you definitely want to bring something along that's able to take out some flyers.
The game was definitely not the DPS hog that it is today.
Now,
like that was what you did.
You know, there's a lot of different places.
It was much more DD1 than DD2 at this point, as far as the current versions.
I've been doing the same thing pretty much every time, and it works out for me real well. Now, to start off, you want your blockade at this. If you see this second post,
things like this were really, really important back then, as far as like exact placements.
Now, you want your blockade,
and that, of course, is all gone away now too.
What I mean by that,
so like if you didn't place that blockade perfect right there, the enemies would leak.
Path, you want that to be slightly to the left of the center of that blockade, as when the mobs come down, their natural pathing is going to be to hug this wall. Since they're making a left-hand turn, they're going to hug the wall.
Yeah, so the answer was, well, the barb wasn't even in the game yet. At this point, there's still only 4 heroes in the game.
They're going to hug it to the right. So we're going to go ahead and center it slightly off.
That's why we're seeing nothing but the OGs, is because that's all that was here.
2 red mushrooms, and then over to the left, so that the mob.
It was definitely much more of a tower defense game than it is today.
Now, if you see this little dealie right here, it looks like a planter of some sort. No collision. That's going to be your marker for this blockade. So go ahead and throw your blockade there right in line with that, and you want this one to be pretty close to dead center. I'm actually a little bit over to the left just because of the placement with the planter thing there.
I guess I meant right.
Now let's go ahead and hop on over to the Frosty. Now remember, your Frosty is going to be buffing all your traps, but it is also going to be one-shotting all your flyers. Not all your flyers, but any of the flyers it freezes. So you want to make sure that on your Frosty setup,
there we go. There's the skill spheres. This ended up being so busted. 45% chance for the Frostbite Tower to freeze its target at the end of its channel. Now this is a shard now, but back then, remember the shatter combo was a one-shot. So any flyer that got frozen and dropped to the ground would shatter on the ground, and it was instantly dead. So you'd use your Frostbite Towers as your anti-air, because no matter what, as they got frozen, they were just dead.
You're large, which is a 45% chance for the Frostbite Tower to freeze its target at the end of its channel. That freeze is going to instantly kill all the flyers and make them drop, which is very, very nice.
I'm curious if I do skill spheres swapping here on this one.
Basically, we're going to be putting down 4 on each side here. I do another one
4
right
Frostbite Towers. Good lord, man. It's because of that stacking.
Another one directly behind it.
This is all changed now.
And the 4th just kind of centered off here. Now,
it's crazy.
Where you put these, you can move them around, try it out, depending on what your range is and such. All you really want to do is you want to keep them far enough away from the blockade where the ogres aren't going to one-shot them with their stomp. If you depending on where you have the blockade, you can put one up here. You can also put one right here on this little tree stub that puts out, which is another good spot. But you don't want them on the ground. See, that's another nice spot for one. You don't want them on the ground right behind the blockades, though. You want to try to keep everything elevated. Now, over here, we're going to put down 4 on this side as well.
Skip through a little.
Our other Huntress,
wait a minute.
where we're going to that one out. And call them Frostbite Towers. They will always be Frosties to me. Anyway, that's going to do it for our apprentice. So let's hop right on over to our Traptress. Now, have to look at the resist on the lanes, of course. And another
This
thing
was
to
the
remember
access
is since
everywhere
we're gonna be
forge.
DPSing on our,
So you couldn't
our other
hot swap
Huntress,
yet,
we wanted to
but you
look at
could
where we're gonna
access
have
the forge
least
from
amount of
anywhere.
effect.
It was the first
Now,
rendition of getting rid of the forge.
Magic resistor lane over here, so we want to get a lot of physical damage on this lane. The center is going to be split with magic damage and physical damage because we've got both types of resistances coming out of the bottom. And then we're neutral on this side, so we can basically do whatever we want here. Now, if I was on an apprentice... Actually, if I was on the apprentice or the huntress with these lane resistances,
You know, I
still
almost put
DPS
that
from the same
video in the
spot,
playlist to
which
go
I'm
over
gonna stay
today,
right
but the
here most of
original
time and shoot up
Slakelion,
this lane,
it
and
was
that
generally
allows me to
considered a
also
bug
assist this lane a
that they
bit.
respawned.
I'm going to leave the far left
And
on its
they
own,
never, Trendy
even though that's a
never
lane that I could easily be
said
taking
if that
down,
was design choice or if
just
that
doing
was a
some
bug.
damage on it.
In
So
the
we're gonna
original
start off with Elemental
Slakelion
Chaos. So we want
was like a boosted up version of just a regular skeleton that a mage would spawn. And of course those would respawn. And that people, generally speaking, they thought Slakelion was bugged and it wasn't actually designed to respawn. I actually have a video going over it as a bug report. You can look it up, and I've got it. I turned it in as a bug report that it would respawn, and Trendy never responded to it, so we never know, was the Slakelion respawning a bug that became a feature? Or was it a design choice? We never will find out,
Chaos on the
as
physical
all those
resist
designers are all gone.
and on the neutral lanes. So we see this side is physical resist. So straight up from the blockade
Here we
to,
go.
the left facing this way, we're going to go ahead and put 5
And here we're going to mix our trap elements. This
elemental
is something
chaos
else that you
traps
can't do today.
with a 6th one right
You
here.
see, that
pretty
one's
much
called
centered next to
Elemental
this purple
Chaos.
plant
That
here.
was one of those
The
skill
reason
sphere
being is a lot of
shards.
mobs get hung up
And
right
you
here.
could hot swap
So
them
it's a
and build
nice
different
place just to
things.
add a little additional.
So, like, if
little
I
additional.
built these traps using Elemental Chaos, that's shard, or that skill sphere, I could then pull it out as the explosive traps were physical by default and build new traps that were physical. It would be like changing shards out depending on what built. Now everything gets updated and it used whatever your last setup was. So, you know, like if you wanted some towers with long range and you put deadly strikes, and then you wanted others of the same tower but not as much range, and you pulled deadly strikes out, well, your original ones you placed are going to lose that.
Damage. Now we're going to come on over to this lane. Since it's neutral, we're going to use Elemental Chaos as well. And we've got room for 10 traps. Doesn't matter how you lay them. Spread them out. Do whatever you want. Just throw 10 traps around here. What do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I got 2 more. Just stretch out 10 traps on this side. You want at least 2 of them on the blockade to help DPS down any of the bosses that are sitting there pounding on it. Alright, now we need to switch
Yeah,
to
bosses
the
don't
magic
pound
resist. So we're gonna
blockades
change
anymore either.
over
They just one
and
tap
get
them.
rid of Elemental Chaos. And
You
we're
see
just
what I
gonna lay
mean?
down some regular explosive traps.
We swapped out Elemental
just
Chaos.
right
The
next
old
to these
traps
first 5
stayed Elemental
we're
Chaos,
gonna go ahead and put
and
down
now we put
explosive
down
traps
regular
right next to
explosive
'em.
traps,
That way
and
we're
their
covering
physical
both
damage.
types of damage on this
So that's
lane.
how we covered both of those elements
And I'm
in
gonna
that
put my
particular
5th
lane.
one just off to this side of this tree here. Now, this side is going to be same as the
It was a
far
pain
right.
in the ass,
It
too,
doesn't really matter where you put them.
because it changed.
Do
There
whatever
was
you
some
want,
maps,
get a
like
feel for
the
it.
Gates of Dragonfall Incursion,
Just slap down 10 of them. on this
those
side.
elemental
That's all you're gonna
resistances
have.
would change each
enough,
wave, which means you
DP
had to go back through and rebuild all your
for it.
stuff.
Alright. So now I'm going to hop on over to my DPS character and get this started. Like I said, I'm going to be spending the majority of my time right in this area. That way I can hit both of these lanes. Ideally, this would be my physical resist lane. And then I could set it up with elemental chaos over here and completely ignore it, except for helping out with flyers. Now, in Wave 1, there are no flyers. However, you're going to have to pay attention to them.
Huh, what are those
Flyers
white dots,
really
I
are your
wonder, on
only
the
downfall
mini-map?
with this strat. The Frosties do a pretty good job at taking them out.
Kobolds?
They're not going to get them all because the
I'm not
freeze
sure.
is a proc, so it's not guaranteed. Another important thing, if you're bringing along a Huntress for DPS and you have the sticky nades, by all means, throw down some sticky nades right up front.
Sticky nades was another skill
Before you
sphere.
start the wave, as you know, if
You
get
could
3
turn
rows of
your
sticky nades
first
down there
ability
in
on the
front,
Huntress into
that will
sticky
take out
grenades.
quite a
So
few
you
of
could
the
load
first
up
pack
stickies onto
as
an
they
ogre
come
and it
in.
would blow up everything around it.
You want to quickly collect up a little bit of green mana, as you are going to have to do some repairs here on Wave 1. Just like every other map, the farther along you get, actually the easier it becomes as you get higher in waves, because you get to
This is a
upgrade your traps and your
7-wave map
blockades,
here.
and with the exception of bosses, there's not anywhere near.
So I
as
guess
much
we are
as
still before they
necessary.
normalized stuff and made so
Well, we
much
got no
5 waves.
flyers on Wave 1, so I'm just going to do what I can here to tear things up. I'm actually in gold collecting mode now, so I've got gold bonus large spheres in and not any damage spheres. Now you see we got to throw a little heal on that one. Let's collect up a little green mana over here. You always need to be conscious.
This
of where your
era of the
blockades are
game
at.
is when the game had
Now,
the
you
most
see
amount of
this
players.
run, I was lucky enough to get a mini
Right
map,
around
and we all
here.
know that life root, the mini map, is a little bug and disappears very frequently. If
It
you
was
don't get your
definitely-
mini-map, there's
a
no
lot of people
reason-
liked it.
Reason to exit out and restart, but you just have to pay a little closer attention. You have to always look at where flyers are at, and always check your blockades.
There was
and see
Wave
where
1.
that
Let's
help
jump on
is.
forward to Wave 7 here since this video was so long.
And there we go. Wave 1's a piece
I
of
want to
cake.
look and see, though, if the elements
And
change.
we're already set to start strengthening the setup here. Now, to start Wave 2, you're going to want to look at where the boss is going to be coming out of. Now, as we see, it's going to be coming out of the
This
low
is when
rate,
it got
which
its
is the
own
physical
little
resist side.
billboard tag.
So I'm going to buff.
Okay,
all
so
of
no,
the
it didn't
center lane up.
change. Maybe that was only on that Gates of Dragonfall incursion, the Gridlock Sword incursion, where they would change. I'm not sure. Let's jump
One time
forward to the 7th wave, though, and see what it looks like at the end.
where they get to you. Grades in here as well.
There we go.
Now, it did have, as you saw, there was 30 of the little guys that are pretty easy to take down. I'm going to leave it there and leave myself a little bit to do some repairs. None are really necessary anywhere yet. We'll put a light one on that.
I think the white mobs on the mini-map might just
And
be
you
a
see
bug.
The first flyers are coming out. Just going to try to get a few sticky nades laid down before the flyers get here.
Or there's the
or
sticky
before they get
nades.
in
So they're
range
gonna.
anyway.
I shoot them out and they sit there.
We go. I can't stress how important it is to kill the flyers. Although the Frosties do a great job with them. You'll be way better off if you're allowing your Frosties to do a great job with them as a last resort. And you go ahead and take care of those
Oh,
flyers.
wrecked.
Dying to a dive bomber is better than one of your towers dying to a dive bomber. So, by all means, throw yourself out there and take one for the team. See, we should have, with 100, anything over 100, and you're not going to have a problem running out of DU to repair. So,
You just hear those
if
bosses
you've
just
got over
popping.
100, just get right over to
And so many of them.
DPSing down these bosses and repairing your blockades. Now, this middle lane having 2 ogres, they do have a tendency to walk over the blockades from time and time again. And it's a known issue. The devs are working on it. As you see, he's actually walking up a bit right there. Oh, hopefully I can burn him down before he gets over it. And he's over it. Oh,
Creeping on past.
oh, got him down anyway. Let's go ahead and get
That guy's
this
sitting in that
blockade.
explosive trap with the frosty
Juice back
powers. He's
up.
just gonna get
Keep an eye on
wrecked.
the health on that one. It looks good. Alright, so the center wave is down now. As long as that right blockade stays healthy, you can pretty much just ignore the boss. Now, of course, obviously, if you help DPS it down, it makes things go a lot quicker. But while that guy's going, as
Well,
long as you've
yeah.
got a repair
I
going on
mean,
your
you don't
blockade,
want
by all
something
means,
destroying your
switch off
defenses.
and take down
You're going to
fire and
respawn.
such.
Your defenses won't, you know?
Make life a little bit easier on the end. See, there's a frostbite.
Frostbite
tower
down.
I think that was due to a flyer. I'm going to go ahead and throw a repair on that. Well,
So
maybe
many
we can
ogres,
throw a
too. I
repair
don't
on that
remember
one
there
more
being
for
that
him.
many ogres
43 baddies left.
in
It
just
looks
a
like they're all
normal
coming
map.
through the right side, and it looks like they're all easy little guys to kill. So should be a piece of cake there.
Thanks
And
for
we got the
subscribing
easy
there,
going.
Elden King.
Big,
Very
big
clever
change
name.
from my first Nightmare 4 run. But there is the step-by-step guide to starting off solo.
Here we go.
Nightmare 4.
The first ever Dungeon
I'm,
Defenders 2
hoping this
guide.
helps everybody out because, like I said, I know
41
there was
minutes
a lot of
long.
people
If I
that
did a
are-
41-minute guide on YouTube right now, people would throw a fit. Like, people complain if a video is longer than, like, 12 minutes. What's up, Kylo? Oh, yeah, we're in the Nightmare 4 edition. See, this next video was how to target farm.
What's going on, everyone?
Pets,
Cheesebacks here, and
golden
welcome back
pets.
to some Dungeon Defenders 2. Just a real quick update to talk a little bit about golden pets. There's been a little confusion as to what pet comes from which map.
It basically, it was
depending on what
each
golden pet
golden
you're looking-
pet type came from a different map. So there was only a few Onslaught maps available. As you see, there was only 4 maps here. And depending on what map you did was what kind of pet egg you got. So that was the old school version of farming golden pets. But golden pets were very, very farmable before. And nowadays, people who got the rare versions of them that no longer drop, those things are worth billions of gold. So anybody that's stuck around that's got some of those super old golden pets that are no longer in the pool, they get massive amounts of gold. But basically how it worked is like dragons only came from one map, creepers only came from one map, Gattos only came from another map, and then there was the last map dropped dragons as well. So there was 2 of the 4 maps that you could play. There was 2 of them that dropped dragons, 1 that dropped Gattos, and 1 that dropped creepers. Is how you got those golden pets. And here we go, y'all. The most
What's going on, everyone?
game-breaking thing to ever hit Dungeon Defenders 2. The Dragonfall Carnival. This is also where the only time that one of my predictions, not to brag, but my predictions for DD2 are generally pretty good, pretty spot on. This is the only time I was nowhere close. During this time when, well, that's what we're going through right now. That last map was a Nightmare 4 map. There, Bess. The only time that I've been dead straight wrong about predictions about what is going to come to the game was this right here. And that is when I saw that the Jester was in here, I was going on for weeks on live streams about how the Jester was going to be our next hero. And of course, the Jester never arrived. But this was the current carnival costumes and the current carnival related golden pets, like the golden bear Kira, etc. This was the only way to get those before, and it was a pay to win type of thing. There was a special map, which is now the carnival map. You know, the Wild Westival map was the carnival map. It was an event map only. It was only here during this time. And by beating it, you spun a wheel. And if you had one of these admission tickets, you could redeem your mission ticket to collect one of the prizes on the wheel. You could still play, of course, but you couldn't get the loot. You couldn't get the special items if you didn't pay for it. So let's go through that carnival map here. This is currently the Wild Westival map.
Cheesebags here, and welcome back to some DD2 and the Dragonfall Carnival. Now, we're going to go through all of the goodies you can get in the carnival today for doing the map. And first off, let's start off with that big top bundle. If you've got 1,600 gems, it is 100% the way to go. You're going to get all 4 shadow costumes, all 4 galaxy costumes, 7 golden premium pets. All for,
You got all that
what?
for 1,600 gems.
It's like 33% off or whatever.
That's
cost.
crazy.
Is that right? Something like that it would take to buy all those with the admit one at a time. Now, just so everybody knows, I'm not going to be doing this map on Nightmare 4 till it comes out on the PS4, as I've got just an absolute insane amount of grinding to do on the PS4.
At this state,
I just can't, there's not enough hours in the day.
This was before my PS4 rage quit. So at this state of the game, the PlayStation was like 6 to 8 months behind the PC. And the PlayStation was my main account, believe it or not. So I would play on the PC to kind of learn all the things that were coming. And then when that update hit on PS4, I could kind of hit the ground running and knock all the stuff out in the same day or in the same relative time frame. But this is that Wild Westival map that we have now.
However, Nextillion has completed this on Nightmare 4.
And that's what made me think that the Jester was coming.
So head on over to Nextillion's channel, show him some love.
Nextillion was one of the big Dungeon Defenders 2 content creators way back in the day.
Complete this solo on Nightmare 4, which is pretty awesome. There is some interesting little tricks and secrets on the map that he goes through several of those. See me burning down the boss man on easy mode here, essentially.
That was easy, and I still took me that long to kill the boss. All right, Millsy, have a good one. We're going to be going through more tomorrow. So by all means, swing on by. We'll be starting around the same time.
Up and blazed it all up. But anyway, when you complete the map, there's no victory chest.
Yeah, here we go. This is how you got the carnival
each time
stuff.
you win a prize, that prize will be blacked out on the wheel, so you don't have to worry about getting duplicates.
There's the golden Shinobi Kitty.
Oh, yes. How awesome is that? Now, there's another cool thing with these pets, is that they come pre-unlocked all the way up to level 45, so you instantly have access to a special ability. Now, there's the shadow costume for the monk. I'll be going over all the costumes in a separate video.
So you bought that package, you didn't have to worry about getting duped. You see the items black out, and that item can't roll on the wheel.
One of the galaxy costumes. Same thing, like I mentioned, I'll go over those in a separate video, but they do look awesome. And in fact, if you've got just ridiculous amounts of gems laying around and don't mind blowing the cash, the special one that's really expensive is really cool looking, but it costs a lot for a
There's
costume.
the golden cat Kuro.
Golden cat Kuro. I was very proud of that one, as I've yet to get a legendary cat Kuro with way too many attempts.
I got like 30 of them.
Not only do I have a legendary one now, but it's a golden legendary one. Back to those galaxy costumes once again, just unlocking them all.
So yeah, you had to complete, you had to buy the tickets with real money, then complete the map to unlock the rewards. And then that key was for a special lockbox. You see that key slots.
Are a little irritating opening up as you get all those duplicates. On the wheel for the carnival, you get no duplicates. Now, of course, there's that wheel outside of the event itself. Golden table flipper, yes, yes.
All these pets are worth a pretty nice chunk of change now, because that was the only way to get them. Still now, today, this was the only way to get them.
700.
This is one of the things they held true to with it being exclusive. Not the skins, of course, but the pets themselves.
As well.
They were truly exclusive. If you didn't get it from this event, you have to buy it from another player who got it then, or got it from somebody else.
Another one of the galaxy costumes knocked out there. That one's for the monk. It was kind of nice because I had several of my characters were still in the 650 range, and I was able to get them completely decked out.
That other wheel I'm talking about is what I'm going to go through next.
Master key. I don't know if it's a random amount you get. I actually got 5 of them. I'm assuming everyone will get 5 of them when it hits there. I only actually found 1 of the special boxes. Now, this particular pet, the Golden Possessed Sword, was really special to me because that is the one monthly pet that I never did, was the Possessed Sword. I was turning into a Terraria junkie that month. I did not get the monthly done.
Too much Terraria, didn't get my monthly done.
One of just about everybody had Berkira as their favorite at some point in time. particularly if you were like a ranged DPS, helping to assist you with some CC and solo play. Now there's a Golden Bear Kira. I mean, come on. Ridiculous.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the origin of
Hunter's
all
Cup.
that stuff. Now, this next video is a carnival
What's
of... Or is that the right one? Now, here we go. Now, this particular wheel was the most busted thing they ever had in the game. Ever. First off, this era in the game was when it had the most amount of players. So there was a lot of players online. You could go up to the war table here and there wouldn't be a single public game going because literally every player was doing one of two things. They were either grinding for gold or they were spinning this wheel. And here we're going to go through how you maxed out your characters by using the wheel. So it was like the ultimate in catch-up mechanic for any of the grinders. Like at this point in the game, I had definitely spent hundreds of hours to get the set of gear I had now, which was the max at that point was item power 700. And I basically was able to gear every character that I had up to item power 700 because of this wheel. So let's check out this broken thing, which this is the reason the carnival event never came back. Instead of just removing the wheel, they completely removed the event. Here it is.
What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. Now, I wanted to take a quick look.
I spent
This, of
so
course,
much time
is our
on that
new
damn wheel.
Social Tavern. The Social Tavern is gone, and we got the Heroes
This is the
Marketplace,
first
so,
town as well.
nice having
You hear
a
me say
bigger
the
area
social
to run
tavern
around.
is gone.
Still all the same people here. You got the blacksmith. You got the enchantress. A little frame rate drop there. But most importantly, we've got this awesome outdoor prize wheel.
And there we go. All the
Come
players
over here
stacked
and
at the
we can spin
wheel.
the wheel. And there's a lot of different items that you can get. Now, first off, one of the most important things is anyone who has any character that's item power 700 or better, you basically, if you've got the gold, you can equip every one of your characters with item power 700 gear.
It was the
And I'll show you
ultimate
some
gear farm.
examples here, but first let's take just a quick look through my inventory. Some of the various items you get. First off, you're going to get just a ton of these festive carnival fireworks. I'm going to end up selling all
And then
those.
this, of course, all
You
came
also
back in the
get
form
all
of
kinds
dailies.
random other things. You get some different masks, which in this case is a wig, the old rainbow fro. You get a lot of different buffs. Like here we've
The
got
masks
power,
didn't do anything back
power
then.
salve. And this is
They were
gonna
just
increase-
cosmetic.
Give you a slight boost to your defense power. There's one for a boost to hero health.
Now, of course, they added in all those
Let's
effects.
see. Then we got
The other
hero
stuff's
crit
the
chance.
same. They changed the durations, I think.
we got a boost to ability power. Basically, there's a whole lot of boosts. These, you of course, are going to want to save. They last 10 minutes, and they're going to be crucial. You get this Dragonfall popcorn machine.
Popcorn
Lasts 10
machine only
minutes as
lasts
well,
10
and this is
minutes.
gonna
Big
give you a
oof.
bonus to your HP, your mana regen, your hero crit, and your defense crit. So that's a pretty awesome buff to lay down as well. Here's another one of the masks, the Trust Me Disguise. We got the Lucky Bunny mask, and so on and so on. Now also, in the process of this, you're going to get the chance of getting item power 700 legendary gear.
This was a bug,
Yeah.
a tooltip bug
My
back then.
inventory is bugged out there a little bit, but we can scroll on down here. Hopefully it'll let me highlight some of this stuff now. Nope, still not going to do it. Dang it. I hate it when it does this. Let's try it on the monk here. Come on,
The bug
tooltips,
was
come
after you
back.
scrolled, the tooltips would
Alright,
go
anyway,
away.
You can get these awesome
They fixed that, of
item
course,
power
but
700
it was quite
pieces of gear,
irritating not being
which,
able to look at your
you know,
stuff.
needless to say, that's
I'm still
everyone's
trying to
goal is
swap.
get 700 plus.
I think I probably get it by the end of the video.
I just, God, I hate it when it does this. There we go. Anyway, you see that one. I'm still using a 694 piece, but there's a item power 700 legendary medallion for a monk. Now, here's how you're going to get these on all your.
So you look at this, down in the bottom you see item power 683, where the max gear quality was item power 700. Now you could go above item power 700 by upgrading pieces, but the highest level an item would drop was item power 700, and it was super rare. It was hard to get. So if you had one hero that was item power 700, you could gear out all your other heroes. And this is the way I showed how to cheese that whole system and get everybody decked.
Characters. Now we're going to take a look here at this squire. This is actually my tower squire, even though he is, strangely enough, named Juice Tank. He was a tank at one point, needless to say. Now I'm still missing a lot of items. I need, you know, a better shield. This shield's kind of a POS. And I've got several other items. A pair of boots wouldn't hurt. My gloves are good. And, of course, a medallion would be ideal. I'm good on the helmet there. Now, however, if I spin the wheel, I'm going to get item power 683 gear. As we see, this guy's item power is 683. Now, to remedy this, we're just going to equip random pieces, even if they're from another character, that are over item power 700. Like, I know I needed a shield, as this shield is really low. 637. I got an item power 700 shield right here. It's not the shield I want to use, but it's going to get my item power up. You see that jump me up to 692. Now, what was my other crucial piece? We got boots. So let me find just a random pair. There's 679. Here's some 700s. These are, some DPS boots for like a tank. Or just a DPS squire in general. I'm going to go ahead and equip those, and there we go. That's going to get me to 701. Now, another important thing is, just by doing maps, you're going to get these tickets. You see, I've got quite a few of them here. These tickets are going to get you spins on the wheel that aren't going to cost you any gold. Now, I did spend about 1.5 million gold and got just a ton of stuff.
That amount of gold right there was absurd at the time.
And got them squared away. But, as you see here, either 10 tickets or 2,500 gold gets you a spin. Now, I want to go ahead and burn through all those tickets. As I earned all those, see, there's a popcorn machine for me. Another one of those awesome buffs. Gives you quite a few different abilities. Anyway, I got all these tickets just from running the event 16 times. There's some enduring tower salve.
So the icons here, this would be a weapon. So since my hero is item power 700, if it lands here, I get an item power 700 weapon. That might take me 50 maps to find. Here, this is relics. So I know that's a ring logo, but this was basically representing relics at the time. If it landed here, I would get an item power 700 relic. If it would land here, I would get an item 700 piece of armor. And like I said, all this stuff was super rare and very hard to grind for. So this prize wheel, you could kind of manipulate the system and completely break the game.
Let me get a legendary.
As far as maxing out all of your characters and having all of the gear, and it was just all amounts if you had the gold.
Actually has one of.
You'd get those tickets from playing,
You've got one,
and as you see, I had quite a few
of
them.
Good stuff.
But it was all about the gold farm.
3 of those bad boys.
So 2,500 gold
legendary gear. Where you at?
was a decent amount of gold back then. You know, having 1 million gold was crazy back then.
These buffs are going to be crucial, so definitely hang on to all those. And in fact,
now that's like,
really
for me, that's like 2 maps. For some people, it's 1 map.
Legendary helmet.
So there we go. I just got a free item power 700 piece.
And see if I can find
that could have potentially taken me,
very organized.
30, 40, 50 maps to find that piece. I just got it from spinning that wheel.
Awesome.
Item power 700.
So I got myself an item
now,
power.
How you manipulated this system was all you needed was a weapon that was item power 700 for each of your characters. And then you could have 1 piece of item power 700 gear for each slot, and just move those pieces around from character to character. And the passives that rolled on the gear were always passives for that character. So if you were trying to gear out, say, a huntress, you would roll over on your huntress that's at item power 700, get a bunch of item power 700 gear, and then that became how you farmed gear. While this event was like 2 weeks, I want to say. And for 2 weeks, that was how you farmed gear. You didn't play the game. You came over here to the wheel, and it really, really pissed off Trendy back in the day. And once that wheel was gone, they swore they were never going to bring it back. So
700
that was the carnival event in the carnival wheel. Now that leads on to another cool thing. Did I do a video about it? This is February 2016. So this is what, a year and a few months before the game officially launched. And I think this was, or no, here we go. Let's skip to this one. Basically, this event, what it turned into is you wanted gold. You wanted massive, massive amounts of gold. So if you were playing a map, the only thing you worried about was farming gold. And this was the way to do it back in the day. Now, this was when, you guys know the Unholy Fire shard. This was a passive on shields back in the day. So you would have to farm a shield that had it.
Welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders.
And this was just a crazy good gold farming. That was super fun too. And it was visually pleasing. So basically, you see Jackpot there. Jackpot is now a shard. So you'd get Jackpot on your weapon. You'd get Unholy Fire on your shield.
One thing I have been itching to try,
and then there were some other gold modifiers that you would get on your regular armor pieces.
Checking it out for gold farming. Now, of course, when you're farming for gold, any of your hero abilities do not cause your gold sphere to pop.
There was gold spheres, you see.
However, the fire.
There's two different gold spheres.
Fire, that is actually not an ability. That is one of your basic attacks. It's your secondary attack, which of course is your block. So let's go ahead and check it out in action. That way I can confirm that it is definitely...
This was just such a great way to farm gold. You dropped down to a lower difficulty and then made sure that your defenses didn't kill anything.
Hoping that it would, so
you'd put walls up and turn them the other way around.
It's a grind, a constant grind.
And this was just cool as shit.
If you want to just come up with millions...
And the way Jackpot worked back then, where now the shard will proc off a lot of different things, but how it worked back then is it was when you actually looted gold. So if there was gold on the ground and you ran over and looted it, there was that 15% chance that that amount would be quadrupled. And then you had those skill spheres, which gave a percentage chance of enemies dropping gold. Now remember, this is an era where if you had 1 million gold, you were like the wealthiest player in the game. Or that's probably a little extreme, but you know what I mean. You were super, super rich. And this was awesome. I wish they had something like this in now.
So, of course, any way that you can change that up and add a little variation.
So we turn blockades around backwards.
A little gap there. I'm just going to go ahead and throw down 2 here just for the purpose of this. A little sloppy. Anyway, let's go ahead and switch back on over. I don't remember which hotkey he was. And check out the Sword of Unholy Fire in a gold farming situation.
So you had the gold skill sphere given. There was 2 different ones, which gave enemies a chance to drop gold.
Really, without
and then Jackpot,
at all, it does a decent amount of damage. Now, of course, the higher ability
and you see the gold popping.
Have the better. And it also
now you see that was 1,000 gold right there. 980 gold, but it was 980 gold in an era where 1 million gold was unheard of. You know,
dropping the gold. Now, of course, I mentioned that none of them pop. Come on, pop, damn you!
So yeah, it's just crazy. You'd set up a defense.
There we go, gold. Flying
and the gold would just fly
through that fire.
You would get to a point where, I mean, if you had enough enemies bunched up,
to your gold farming,
it would just be spraying gold all over the place. And then every piece of gold you looted had a chance with Jackpot to be quadrupled, which means all of those hundreds could turn into 400s.
Let's go ahead and check out a larger pack
right instantly.
Let these guys build up on that blockade for a second. Here they go. Oh yeah. And the gold is just flying. So awesomeness. There is a quick look at the Sword of Unholy Fire in a gold farming situation.
Yeah, so that was it. And you combine that with the carnival event where you needed an absurd amount of gold, and boom, that was your gold farming. And it was so incredibly good. All right, let's get a couple more giveaways going here. We're gonna end up calling it a day here pretty soon. We're gonna continue this journey on tomorrow, starting about the same time. But I want to get some giveaways going. We started the last one on YouTube, so we'll go with this one on Twitch. Let's see. Let's change the keyword. Let's go juicy. Give me a hashtag juicy in Twitch chat. And this one will be for a set of pizza wings. So this is a chromatic specific giveaway that they decided to hook me up with today and let me give one away. Normally, the only way to get this one is from a chromatic live stream. So this is going to be for pizza wings, good on any platform. So no matter where you're playing, does not matter. Does not matter. Let's get a little music kicking here again. Let that fly out through the rest of this one. Fun seeing how the game has evolved from the beginning. Oh, for sure. It's been a fun little thing going back. We're going to be starting off tomorrow with the first new character, which was the Abyss Lord. It's funny in the videos, I pronounce it wrong. I pronounce it Abyss. Abyss Lord, not Abyss Lord. But yeah, whatever. So get your hashtag juicies in Twitch chat. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to get it entered in. We'll do one in YouTube right after, so don't worry, YouTube folks. You are not going to miss out. We will get you squared away here. And this is for the DD2 Pizza Wings. 7 Days to Die mystery supplies. Man, when I turn integration back on, I am going to have a shitload of mystery supplies pop in 7 Days to Die. You started just before the Abyss Lord released. The Abyss Lord was so strong at launch. I mean, I remember spamming skeleton archers on literally every single map. Like, that was the go-to tower in the game. It was so good. There was nothing that had that kind of range and that kind of power in the game at all until that launched. Just crazy how good it was. Get y'all some pizza wings here. That's kind of cool of them. I wasn't expecting that. I asked them for a few giveaway codes, and they sent me pizza wings. So tomorrow we've got some 250 gem codes to give out. We're gonna have 2 more tomorrow. We're gonna have a lot more giveaways than we had today. SciTech trying to get his points jacked up for 7 days as well, so he can spawn more demos on my face. I see how you are, SciTech. Well, I mean, that's just not reality. You know, we could get more heroes, but they're not going to give heroes more towers. You got to realize that all that is in the base game code. They're not going to redo all that. It would cost way more money than they could ever hope to get back in return. I mean, yeah, it'd be great having a hero that's got 8 towers or whatever, but yeah, that would be cool, having a defense-only hero. A lot of people thought that the engineer was going to be that. Back before it was called the engineer. It was originally the man and machine. And a lot of people thought that was going to be a defense-only hero. All right, so here we go, y'all. Good luck to everyone. This is for Pizza Wings on Twitch. And the winner is Elusive11. Congrats there, Elusive. Say something in chat. Let me know you're still here, and I will get you your pizza wings. Elusive is indeed here. Congrats to you. Like I said, that was pretty cool of them. I was not expecting to get their exclusive rewards to give away. There you go. I just whispered it to you. Now let me get the bot logged in over on YouTube. And we will do a pizza wing giveaway on YouTube as well. Give me just a second here. YouTube likes having you click 17,000 things in between everything. All right, so give me a hashtag juicy in YouTube chat. Hashtag juicy in YouTube chat for your chance to win a set of pizza wings. It was a good idea, Dan. I don't know if Dan's still here, but I was, like I said, I was originally just going to play and just like grind out some expeditions or something. And Dan is like, man, you should go through like the history of DD2 and go through videos of it all. And I think that was an incredibly fun idea. For sure. Give you guys a minute or two to get your juicies in there. Get them juicies in there, y'all. It's been fun going back and look. It brings back a lot of memories for me. I mean, remember, I was doing all this on 2 platforms. You guys know how grindy the game is. I was grinding this all out on PC and on PlayStation. And I'm hoping when I go through all the videos, I come across my PlayStation Rage Quit live stream, but I'm pretty sure it's gone. I've mentioned that for years. I would love to see that video again, but I haven't been able to find it. But when I quit PS4 DD2, it was a rage quit in the middle of live streaming. And I was just out. Done with it. I mean, I still kept playing DD2, of course, but I was done with it on the PlayStation. It was a next level bugginess. Doing more grinding than the average flour mill. Oh, yeah. PlayStation was very, very crashy back then. And as we've gone over throughout this video, the game was all about loot. And a lot of times it was a special item. Like the item, I still remember the item I was farming. I'll never forget the stream. Like that weapon that had the Frosty passive on it, only dropped from the Life Root Forest incursion. There was another weapon which was considered the best in slot weapon at the time. The highest DPS weapon was the Armored Cleanser. The skin is still in the game. It's a generic ground drop, but the shot type has changed. It was a different shot type back then, and it only dropped from the Malthius incursion. And I had like a 2, 3, 4 hour stretch on stream of trying to farm the Malthius incursion. And every time I got to the boss, the game would crash for like 4 hours straight. And I threw an absolute fit and rage quit, and I never played on PlayStation ever again. That was the last time. I mean, I've logged back into the account, but I've never played it for real. Like if you checked my PlayStation account right now, I'm probably like in Chaos 3 gear. When they switched over to the Nightmare system, or the Chaos system, if you were in Nightmare 4 gear before, that was comparable to like Chaos 3 gear in the new system. So that is probably where I was at. Right around there. Maybe one day I'll dip back in and take a look and see where I'm at on PlayStation. I got a lot of super valuable stuff there. Stuff that sells for billions of gold now. All right, here we go. It looks like the juicies are complete. Now remember, if you win on YouTube, there's no direct messaging. So you need to send me a message on Twitch, Twitter, or Discord. That way I can give you your pizza wings, because I can't just post the code in chat or somebody will yoink it from you, as the internet likes to do. But anyway, here we go. Good luck to everyone. Looks like Zelion got in just in time.
And the winner is... Can't pronounce that one either. Zajaczek? I'm sure I massacred that. I do apologize for massacring your name. But there you are. So send me a message on Twitch, Twitter, or Discord. There's Zaza. And I will get you your pizza wing codes. It's Bunnyman? That's a lot easier. I don't remember Bunnyman. So yeah, Twitch, Twitter, or Discord. Send me a direct message. I'll get you your code right away. And yeah, but anyway, that is going to get it for today, y'all. So we will start back off tomorrow at the edition of the Abyss Lord. The first hero, the first DLC hero. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Just send me that message. I'll get you squared away. But yeah, anyway, thanks a ton, y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And tomorrow, we will go through basically the current era of the game. What up, Freezer Burn? But yeah, anyway, thanks a ton, y'all. Have a incredible weekend. And I will see you all soon. I'll be waiting for your message there, Bunny Man. See ya!